It's the family guy.
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? What's going on? We about to get right into it. It's been interesting. Interesting. All right. So I'm not really sure all of what happened earlier today. Um, I heard about some type of interview that took place here um, on Clubhouse between Ye and the brother Ion, and I listened to it briefly just before I got on here. Just a few in and outs with him. I heard the brother Captain Cesariak and the brother Ye all speaking together. I'm not sure what all took place or what the whole interview was about or any of that. I just remember going into the room that the brother Ion was hosting. I think it was like what I'm saying, a celebration room, a celebratory room of how they had the interview. Now I didn't know what the room was about. I saw the little ghost face and I just popped my head in. And as soon as I popped in, he's like, "Okay, there goes Face." So he pulled me up. I'm like, okay, this is, what I'm saying, interesting because for about 2 months since the Ye situation happened, when people realized that I wasn't going to come out and help them, what I'm saying, attack his name, help them attack him personally, or help them push the narrative that he was some crazy person or that he needed to be shut down or canceled. What everybody want to use that word now. You know what I'm saying? When they figured that out, I wasn't modded in them rooms anymore. So I thought it was interesting. I went in and it was pulled straight up in mod. I said, okay, I guess today is a new day. I'm listening. I'm like, what's going on here? And then, I was kind of peeping the room and people were saying that it was some haters and they didn't like the fact that Ion had the interview. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm seeing the WAC 100 PTR. Who room is this? I'm trying to peep the scene. My point is this. As I listened closely, I was like, I know I'm not hearing what I think I'm hearing. I know it ain't being said that Ion, who I done heard say all kind of off the wall, backwards, upside down shit about Ye, is saying that he just got an opportunity, or he's happy to have been interviewed or walking with him, and I'm like, okay, so I'm listening. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Okay, so I said, somebody give me a recap on what the interview was, and they're like, yo, we ain't doing a recap. Basically, the recap is, he had a interview, and we here to celebrate it. The whole room, all of them people in that room, I've heard each and every one of them people who was in there in some way, shape, form, or fashion, maybe give or take a few of them, come out and speak out against Ye, or they clapped and applauded when Ye lost his money, or they clapped and applauded when Ye was being targeted and told him that he just needs to apologize, shut the fuck up, sell his sneakers. And I was like, I know I'm not hearing that this same room full of people is now, acting as if they was walking. I couldn't believe my ears. So I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So it wound up being that I got removed out of that room. I didn't even say anything. The last word I said was like, yo, because I felt what Ion was saying when he was saying, people didn't buy the tickets for the room, which I haven't been on Clubhouse, and if y'all can see on Instagram, I haven't been on there either. You know what I'm saying? I've literally been working on wrapping up my book. So I was like, I asked, I said, yeah. So what was the promo for this? I said, you know what I'm saying? What was the promo? And then I guess he took it wrong and was like, it's be hating people like y'all, and went on this whole rant about how people be hating on them and they don't be genuine. I was asking that from a genuine place because I didn't hear or see anything about it. So I even messaged him. I said, yo, family, I don't know what transpired or any of that. I said, but I have a platform on Instagram. I have a platform on here. If there was an event like that I knew about, if I would have known you would have been interviewing Ye, or anybody would have been interviewing Ye that, that I've aligned with in any way, shape, form, or fashion, I would have let people know, to come tap in. But for whatever that energy was, it got right on me and it got me up out of the room. And I found that to be interesting because, a lot of people was there speaking out and saying all the things in the chat, and none of the people got removed. So I'm like, damn, that's interesting. So it didn't bother me. I went on, finished doing what I was doing, got into one of these other rooms shortly after that, and they were also kind of talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So my point of saying all this, I think that that's just an interesting thing, that it often happens like that. They'll have some of these main people come through the apps when I'm not on the app. It happened with Sophia Stewart when she first got on the app. It happened when Brother Polite got on the app. It happened when Umar Johnson got on the app. Anytime like these key algorithmic players move through Clubhouse app, for some reason, either I'm not put on guard about it, nobody lets me know it's about to happen, or I'll miss it. And the reason I'm saying, like, what was the promo is because y'all niggas know. Y'all know if Ye got on Clubhouse, who the fuck was supposed to speak to Ye. The same way y'all knew who was supposed to speak to Sophia. The same way y'all know who be needing to speak to all these people, but that's fine. All I'm saying is I thought it was interesting. Damn, how did they keep it under wraps that heavy? Nobody knew. I didn't know anything about it. But again, I wasn't on Clubhouse, so I could have missed the memo. But nobody messaged me. Nobody hit me up and said, yo, we about to have Ye on Clubhouse, which would have been something to let somebody like myself know. But again, that's neither here nor there. Because the truth is, even if I was to speak to Ye in one of these rooms, I don't have no questions for Ye. I read the algorithm already. There's no questions. I don't have any questions. I don't have any, cliff notes to read. I don't have anything that I need him to reconfirm for me or affirm for me or confirm for me. Anybody who's walking, we know what this shit is already. Ye done spoke out and erupted this whole algorithm in a whole different direction since October 3rd of this year, and he was doing it since before them, and a few other people have been doing that same thing. So it's not confusing. What is a little confusing is the ones who spoke out against him dick riding now when he get in their face. That's a little different for me. That's a little weird, because then it's like I told people, if they were even to meet Ye, they wouldn't be saying all this stuff. So what's this current, what's this energy that moves through these apps, that moves through the rooms in real life, that moves around in the cities, that makes people hate them when they really fans? That makes people try to convince themselves that they hate him when they really respect what he doing. You feel me? Because I didn't hear from what I was listening, I didn't hear no smoke. I didn't hear Ye catching none of the smoke that they've been giving him since before he got on the app. And now he gets on there and it's like, everybody on their knees. And I'm thinking, okay, that makes sense to me though. That makes sense to me, because the truth of the matter is, when they looking at Ye, whether they like it, hate it, can't decide, whether they love him, hate him, can't decide, they still see power, and power is respected. They don't like it, but they'll respect it. They may not like what he's doing, but they have to respect what he's doing. And that means that they have to look at it one time. They have to look at it once, as I've broken down before, and then they respect it. They have to go back and look at it again. You have to do a double take. You can't just look at somebody like that and then cast them off into the shadows. And I find that to be interesting, that they've been trying to do that. They've been trying to act like they could. I said, ain't no way you're going to be able to cancel Ye. Only person that can cancel Ye is Ye. That's the only person who can stop him from doing whatever he's doing. He been told you. He said, yo, my mama told me I can be whatever I want to be. I can do whatever. My mama made that in my mind already. Ain't nothing you going to be able to tell me or turn me away from. You feel what I'm saying? So all they really basically did was just bow down the same way they were saying he was doing when he was going on these different platforms. They were saying he was bowing down. They were making fun of him, talking about, look, he done apologized. He done bent over. All this stuff. I didn't hear nobody say none of that stuff to Ye. Didn't nobody say none of that stuff to him. That he done bent over, or he done got used, or he done been buck broke, or none of that. Didn't none of them people say any of that stuff who was on that stage. None of that was said to him, including Ion. Which means that Ion, you had a lot of smoke for him, but when he got on the app, I didn't hear you say none of those things to him. So why were you saying it for the sake of entertainment? Or why were you saying it for all them ears to hear? You feel what I'm saying? The things that they were saying. It wasn't just him, but that room full of people was saying that stuff. And I just find it interesting. You feel me? Because if you look at the title, you'll see Ye West goes east. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? For the travelers, you understand it. If you're not a traveler, you probably don't. And I can explain it to you. The west to the east. All right? Out of the darkness into the light. People like Ye be knowing that they've been talked about. And they'll still kick it. They'll still play like they don't know what's going on. But they'll let it be known with their presence that they still got control over the whole situation. They know what's moving through these apps. You know what I'm saying? People like Ye, they'll have people sitting in the audience listening and reporting back. Or they'll be listening on a whole different account. You think they're not aware of what's being said? Okay? It's grounds moving like that. The same thing I told you. I got people in my back channel right now that's sitting next to Ye. Like people that sit right next to Ye and be saying, hey, when you said that, that was 100% on point because I just talked to him about this, that, and the third. Or they might send me a link to something. They might show me this, show me that. And they in the shadows. You feel what I'm saying? The people were ready and eager to move and function on behalf of the ones who you calling the Jews. Y'all were ready to move and function on behalf of them, even to the degree of attacking somebody who did not deserve to be attacked by anybody you would say that he deserved to be attacked by, unless you were talking about those people who felt some type of way about what he was saying. They were the only ones who would have had a right to even stand up and go against him. All of y'all just went out against him and stood up against him because your matrix body told you to do that. Your matrix body told you, your programming said, send out negative energy toward him. So now what? Everybody doesn't believe in energy anymore. Nobody believes in the evil eye anymore. Nobody believes in sending out ill will to people anymore. Why you think I said on this app, I said, I'm praying for Ye. I'm praying for Ye. I don't care what anybody says. I'm praying for him, meaning I'm sending out positive energy. And I'm one motherfucker to be able to send that shit out. I'm one powerful motherfucker by myself to be able to say, I said, you'll be all right. When Whack 100 was in one of these rooms talking about, I asked him, I said, yo, Whack, I said, how are his spirits? How's his spirits? You feel what I'm saying? Whack was like, yo, he's good. I said, that's all I need to hear. That's okay then. All right, that's all I'm wondering about. Because he up against a world full of devils. These devils are looking for the next opportunity. The same ones who was trying to tear him down, they'll jump in his pockets the first time they get a chance to. The same ones who speak out against him, if they ever had the chance to be in his position or in his presence, they'll hit their knees in the presence of God. You understand that? You have to know that. So then you think about that, being one of the main people, Ion being one of the main people who was hosting rooms where people held spaces and time to speak out against him. He ain't do none of that in the presence of God. So what you think all the rest of these people who don't even have the mind of Ion would do if they would have even be in front of him and meet, and then you have to hear it from a different ear. You're not hearing it from some tabloid. You're not hearing it because somebody's standing in front of you and trying to convince you. No, you're hearing it directly from the source, from him, from the different ear, not from the logic ear, from the wisdom ear of the presence of God is undeniable. The presence of God is undeniable. You can't deny that something is moving, that is changing the world, and it's functioning in algorithms like Ye. It's functioning in algorithms like Phase. It's functioning in algorithms like Trump. It's functioning in algorithms that you may not have been aligned with before, but you cannot ignore them now. You can't ignore them. You understand? So I know that every time, even though people didn't want me to be on these apps when these things happen, I know that it's already divine, that it became that. He walked through these halls for a reason. I didn't have to see him. I didn't have to speak to him. I didn't have to hear him talk, none of that. He walked through these halls for a reason. Everybody that walked through these halls, it was a moment of truth each and every time. All right, and it's just interesting. I was never on the app to witness any of these people come through. And the one time that I was able to witness Sophia Stewart get on the app, them people rushed me off the mic. When I finally was able to, because the first time Sophia Stewart came on Clubhouse, if y'all don't remember, the whole app glitched. Okay, I remember the room was set for 7 p.m. By 6:30, the app was malfunctioning. It wouldn't get on. I had the shit programmed, planned, wrapped up, all of that. I was laid out, and I said, I'm going to wake up at 6:30 to make sure I'm on time for this. Set the alarm and everything I got on my phone to get prepared, and that shit was glitching. The whole Clubhouse app was shut down. Then the next time she came through, I missed it. They didn't send me the information. The final time, I think it was the third time when she came through, I was able to speak to her. I started speaking to her about how the algorithm was reading and telling her that as she could step in and hear from me from the spirit, this movie, these concepts of Neo is operating right now. I said, I'm the Neo right now. I said, I'm telling her, I said, I got a plan for this, a plan for that. We about to be able to move this and move that. And she shut it down. And she was like, yo, you don't got to do nothing. You don't have to be no celebrity, none of that. Just believe in yourself. And then I was trying to explain to her, I said, I need you to hear me a little more than, somebody who's asking you for like some permission or for some confirmation. I'm telling you what the move is. I'm telling you who you speaking to and where I'm coming from with it. And they rushed me off the mic and said, hey, man, we want to let other people talk. And my question was, why? Why you want to let other people talk? Who are they? These are fans. I'm not a fan of Sophia Stewart. I'm not a fan of Ye. I'm not a fan of J. Cole. I'm not a fan. I just meet these people. I met J. Cole. I wasn't a fan. Probably didn't know half of one lyric that he ever rapped. All I knew was he had a song called Crooked Smile, and I heard the little She Got a Good Thing. But I respected Cole, and stars align. I don't know why these people are here talking. These are fans. I'm not here to fraternize with fans. I'm here to talk directly to this person who is another person put on a pedestal that is saying that they have something to do with the upheaval of a lost people. I want to talk to them. I want to test this spirit with the spirit. The fuck is you rushing me for? But I have to remember that these minds don't understand it. They're just people. They don't get what's actually moving. So when you see things like this happen, I don't even know what the whole, argument or the pushback was going on with somebody streaming the room or none of that. I wasn't aware of it. I was just in there, because I seen the little ghost face thing and I'm like, okay, let me step in. And it turns out that they had a whole issue. So the problem that's going on right now is people not realizing the algorithm of Ye is still alive and well, and it's still exposing people. It's exposing people. It done exposed so many things, and I want people to get this clear, that even when Ye came out and was saying that he still, according to the tweet, I don't know if it was him, I don't really too much care, it's still the same point. When Ye was coming out in that tweet saying he still stand with Balenciaga, or he still support that family, I had let people know, like, bro, I don't care what Ye said. I don't care about him saying he still support Balenciaga. That's between him and whatever the fuck reason he would have said that. But I let people know in that moment that don't get this twisted. Don't think that just because I'm here pointing out to you what's happening with Ye's algorithm, the same way I was pointing out to you what was happening with Trump's algorithm, that means that I'm some fanatic that's going to run behind this person and listen to and obey anything they tell us to do or anything they tell me to do. No, I'm just telling you that the moment that he steps out and says that he's pushing for God, he's pushing for Christ, he's pushing for the renovation or the destruction and then the renovation of this industry, he's pushing for let's get ourselves back in order, let's get ourselves free, let's move out of their clutch. Okay, well then fine. We need to be listening to him and we need to be paying attention to all of the things that's happening around that algorithm, because that current event dominated the whole algorithm for 30 days straight. It dominated that. And then you had branch off pieces of that same algorithm flooding the airways. You feel what I'm saying? So now people are responding to it in different ways. When Balenciaga was coming out with that ad, I told people, pay attention. I said, look how your people not even responding to that. Your people were on Clubhouse every day of Ye algorithm being active as it was. Every day attacking him. The same one who was in there interviewing with him, every day there was a room where there was some type of conversation regarding him and how he was falling and how he needed to fall and how he's not some hero and he ain't no savior and we need to let him go and F him and this. That was coming from that room with them same people who was somehow we here to celebrate Ye and celebrate the interview with Ye. There was a room every day about him. And then when it came down to the Balenciaga, there was no room every day about how we gonna figure out what's going on with the situation happening behind the scenes with that. You understand? People can make up in their mind that they don't need to respond to that. People can make up in their mind that, if we gonna cancel Balenciaga, then let's cancel these other. You missing the fucking point. The point is, them people shows you child sexualization in your face. Them people shows you child pornography in your face. Them people showed you that there's a potentiality of a brand being able to promote what they're doing in front of you. You don't know if them children are being handled. You don't know if them children have parents on file. You don't know if those children are some of the same ones who are being trafficked. You don't know, because people didn't take to the investigative measures that they took to when it came down to Ye wearing a shirt. People didn't take to the investigative measures that they took to when it came down to Ye speaking on the slavery and how, it sounded to him like there was a choice that was being applied there. People didn't take to the same investigative measures because they don't care. So I told people, I said, all they did was ran an assessment with Balenciaga. I've been telling people about Baal. I've been speaking about Baal, Baphomet, all of that shit for years. I've been talking about it belongs to this industry, what they're doing. And in the Ye Not Crazy song, I said, the world's like, that nigga is crazy. The world's like, quiet about these babies. And then it didn't take all of a month for people to show that they are quiet about these babies. They're quiet about them babies. They don't care anything about what's going on with them children. They don't care. So you can act like you would even have a fake outrage to cancel Balenciaga, because that's simple. Don't wear some Balenciaga. You understand? Okay, that's simple enough. That's not what the fuck the point was. The point was, y'all gonna let them people get off like that? You went and let Ye get off with a shirt, and you gonna let them people get off like that? The people, not Balenciaga. I'm talking about the people behind it. You gonna let them skate off like that? These clubhouse rooms wasn't full of rooms of people saying, yo, what's going on with these children? We need to investigate. We need to figure this out. Somebody need to go to jail. We need to make sure they safe. Nobody cared. No, I didn't see not a single room talking about, are those children safe? Do you understand? But we were in danger because Ye put on a shirt that said White Lives Matter. Get the fuck out of here. I'm telling y'all, this whole thing is exposing people. Before 2023, you got a whole veil being lifted off your eyes. You got a whole wool being lifted off your eyes. You better look and pay attention to people. Okay? If it's something that happens with Ye tomorrow, you're going to see clubhouse rooms flooded. You understand? Talking about what's going on with him. All right? They're programmed to do that. Do you hear me? People are programmed to attack Ye. People are programmed to respond to Ye that way. And then when Ye goes on the offense, you understand, versus just this defense, with what you saw on the Alice Jones show, now we supposed to join these people in what they got going. Listen, if these Jews are offended by what Ye said, they are offended by what Ye said. Not what he did, by what he said. If they're offended by that, they have the right to be offended by that because they are Jews. Whoever identifies with not just that religion, but that actual history. I know they keep trying to blend them all into one, but it's a difference. Either you are the descendants of those people who suffered from the Holocaust, or you call yourself a Jew because you practice Judaism, but there are two different realities surrounding those. You understand? Now, those descendants of the people who suffered and died from the Holocaust have every right to feel some type of way about what was said about Hitler. So what the fuck are the rest of the world doing? What are the rest of the people, what are our people doing? Jumping in that. It has nothing to do with you. They don't jump in what you got going on. They're going to tell, I was in a room, somebody was mentioning the NAACP. Somebody had the nerve to bring up that the ADL works with people like Al Sharpton. I said, what? Al Sharpton, NAACP? You tell me when the last time ADL, any of these groups or organizations who identify explicitly as Jews or anybody else on the planet said, give them people back their land. You tell me, when have they ever said, give them people back their land? You're standing on the land that was built off of the blood of our ancestors, a lot of us who are melanin dominant people. Where have they ever said, hey, U.S. Corporation, posing as a live entity, though it is dead, raise up. You and your people go back to wherever you came from before your ancestors slaughtered 400 million people over generations to build this country. Go back. Give these people their land back. You've been here longer. When have they ever said that? I'm telling you something. They ain't gonna never say that. Because they're benefiting off of the business. They're benefiting off of that bloodshed. They ain't gonna tell me nothing about no fucking NAACP. They only do that because they know we dumb. They do that because we think that, I tell people the NAACP stands for not actually assisting colored people. You should know that by now. You should know that by now. You should understand that by now. Don't tell me nothing about no black people, no African American, no none of that stuff. All these code names that y'all use to better market your businesses. You helping Al Sharpton and the NAACP is money involved in that. There's business involved in that. There's shares involved in that. There's organizational benefit involved in that. It has nothing to do with our people being liberated. Don't tell me nothing about no reparations. You're going to give melanin dominant people some money for what happened to our ancestors, and we still literally in the same type of condition that our ancestors were in? We're in the same type of condition. They just painted it different. You can't put some money on that wound. How about you are living in my grandparents' house? Get the fuck out. That's a reparation. Your children are benefiting from the fact that 3 generations ago, you stumped into my grandparents' house, you killed them, You took my cousins and them and you locked them up. You made them have your children, right? You put them into whatever organizations and religions you wanted to put them in. You created whole factions of what your ideologies were to better breed a society that will benefit you. And I'm growing up in my house and I find this book off in the attic that says, this ain't your house, but you raised me up to think that I was. Or you raised me up to think that some type of way it was okay because you told it from the valor or the victorious side of the people who did it, that 400 million people had to be murdered for you to build this. Y'all better go look up what westward expansion is. You better go look up what manifest destiny is. So the reason why they're able to play people and say these things like, what if somebody came out and said the N-word? You haven't said anything about Ye coming out and using no slur. You keep grouping racism into anti-Semitism, and it is not the same thing. It's not the same conversation because you built so many branches and umbrellas of what anti-Semitism is. You've done that as a people. Y'all have done that so that nobody can challenge that group of people. Nobody can speak about that group of people owning anything or being dominant over anything without being thrown into that category. That means you don't have to say a slur. When people use slurs, they use them intentionally. If you call somebody an N-word, you're using that word intentionally. But when people were in these rooms talking about how Jews run everything, they didn't know that they were being grouped with anti-Semites. They didn't know that. That wasn't their intention to be grouped with that. You even have people like Ye saying, well, look, I found these new definitions. It says that, well, I fall into this category because y'all made them be the categories. You understand? They can only do that to people who, for one, don't know any lick of history, and for two, have been misled so strongly that we really think being black means something. Black means nothing. That's why they can continue to do this. They can continue to do that. So I told people in one of the rooms, I said, look, y'all have an issue with Ye. Y'all figure out how y'all gonna work that out. Stop asking my people to be a part of this outcry. Stop coming to us to join your fight against Ye. Ye is one of ours. Now, if we got to deal with Ye, or if we got to deal with somebody from our community, we'll deal with whoever we got to deal with from our community, how we need to deal with the same way if somebody from your community was quote unquote getting out of line, then you would deal with them the way you deal with them though. So if that's somebody from our community, you don't have a say-so in what happens to that man. You don't have a say-so in how we feel about him. We do. You don't get to keep using your rhetoric to make it seem like because he said what he said, that he no longer holds the melanin dominant gene, or that he no longer relates to the melanin dominant struggle of a people worldwide, not America, worldwide. These people have been oppressed and persecuted and killed and slaughtered worldwide. People brought up a conversation about how you had Jewish slave owners, generational Jewish slave owners. And each and every one of them who had to address that fact kept bringing up how you had other people who own slaves, not just Jews, and that they're trying to figure out why so many people keep bringing up this point. And I told them, you want to know why people are bringing up the point that Jews own slaves? Because I bet you, I promise you, those people did not know that growing up. They probably just figured that out this week. They didn't teach us that your people played a hand in the slave trade or the prisoners of war stories. Our people aren't taught that. We're taught Jews, victim, Hitler, bad, end of story. We don't know that y'all played a hand in the destruction of our people. So I don't give a fuck if it was 3 Jewish slave owners. Why you didn't let us know that? Why isn't that being taught along with the story of the history of the Jews? Do you understand that? But they tried to deflect by saying it was a small percentage, but they wouldn't tell you how many it was though. They wouldn't tell you how many owned them fucking slaves or ones who you call slaves. They just kept using, you use this word small percentage. A small percent, 13% of 500 million is still a lot of people. So if you use a small percentage, how about you specify that those were thousands of slave owners? Specify that. You understand? So was Kyrie really wrong to even say, go watch this documentary, when y'all have now come out and admitted that you played a hand in it? Those people who did. And now they had an argument that was saying, well, it wasn't all Jewish people. Okay, well, not every person who calls himself a Nazi played a hand in the eradication or the Holocaust or the extermination, whatever word they were using at that time, of those people who were calling themselves Jews. You understand? People are going to jump in between these points all day and night, because the issue is how. How the hell you coming over here to recruit us to be upset with Ye for you? Why are we so important to y'all? Why do y'all need us to be outraged? Why do you need my people to be so upset with Ye right now? They keep using that slavery misquotation. They keep using that against you. I told people, Ye did not say slavery was a choice. He did not say that. Go listen to the interview. And if you still hear him say slavery was a choice, something wrong with you. Because he did not say slavery was a choice. Do you understand? And even as he explained it further, he brought out the context of what he was speaking about. But go listen to his statement. If you hear the word slavery was a choice, I owe you some fucking money. If you hear the words slavery was a choice, I owe you one. You won't hear those words. But they packaged it and they sold it. And now they can sit in these rooms and say that Ye is anti-black, and you won't bat an eye of how dangerous the fuck that is for somebody who can't relate to what it means to be you at all, trying to tell you that one of yours is anti-black because they got an issue with them. No, they need you to hate him. Those people hating him alone will not shut him down. They need your help. They're recruiting you. They need to make sure that you as a people don't even realize that regardless of how he's saying what he's saying is true. Regardless of how he's saying what he's saying, there is truth to what he's saying, and there's truth to what he's showing. And it's so true that when people feel left out of the loop of what he's doing, they'll attack him. But as soon as they get an opportunity to be right up on him, they don't. They feel it. All right? They'll never stand with our people. They don't care about us. Michael Jackson already said that. They don't. And it's not up for them to. We don't care if they stand with us. Let's be clear on that. We don't need them to stand with us. We don't need anybody to stand with us. You want to know who we need to stand with us? Us. The same way they do. And we need to stop looking at them as just some Jews. No, we need to ask these people, where are your ancestors from? Poland? Oh, you're Polish. Jewish is your religion. Judaism is your religion. You're Polish. No. Because when I said who I was, you made sure you asked me where I was from. Or you put it on me already that I was a quote-unquote African or an African American. You don't put my religion before me. You put whatever identity that you politicize in front of whoever I am. Okay, so this is what we need to do. Play the same game, reverse it. You're Polish. You're German. You're Spanish. This Jew word that they use to make you think that it equates to being melanin dominant, that they can compare what's happened to you in society with how somebody feels about who's running society. That's a game. And it needs to stop. And it can only stop with you. You got so many people who can come on this app and straight disrespect your people in front of you. Just because. And this adoration, this fear, this reverence that you have for these people because they come up under a name, without ever asking them where are their people from? Who are you? How did you get to America? Did you have ancestors who were conquistadors? Did you have ancestors who were slave owners? Do you know anybody who did? They're using words racist like these people who be speaking out and saying certain things literally don't have the same type of genetic structure. You got two Caucasoid people arguing. Two Caucasoids arguing. And one says you're a racist because they don't agree with what they saying about the group that they align with. Both of y'all are Caucasian. Both of you have the melanin recessive gene. Stop playing games. The games is over. As soon as the people wake up, though, it's over with. See, they don't expect voices of reason like phase one to rise up. It's happening, though. They don't expect voices of reason to come out and say, wait a minute, okay, let's kill all the games. Let's kill all of the games. Who has proof of Jacob? Who has proof of them genealogically that can say that? Oh, if you have proof of him, okay, what was his genetic structure? Was he melanin dominant or was he melanin recessive? Okay, then if we get to the root of it and say that he's melanin dominant, what happened then? What happened? Who was conquered? What invaders went where? Do you understand? And look, make sure that you know that that's not even the root. That's not even the root itself. The root is the world has been deceived. The world has bought a religious story and has been deceived. Let's make sure that that is clear. And because the world has bought or was forced to receive a religious story and has been deceived, then there's even parts of the text that comes from these religious books that says that the dragon would deceive the whole world. We've all been deceived. When you say Jewish, you should not see a Caucasian person pop up in your mind. That's why they keep playing games. We're a people. No, you're a religion. You know you have melanin dominant Jews. You know you have Hispanic Jews. You know what I'm saying? Or melanin recessive Jews. All across the board. So why, when you say Jew, do you think of this Caucasian person? Because the games have been played successfully on a whole generation of people and generations before them. No, their struggle is their struggle. You can respect their struggle without feeling like because they have a situation that now you got to jump up in arms with them when they have not jumped up in arms with you. Do you really think that the state of Israel does not know what took place on American soil as it pertains to your ancestors? Do you really think that just because the masses are clueless that they are? Do you really think that no rabbi is aware of what is still going on? The condition of the people here in America who are melanin dominant, the most of them, do you think that they're still unaware of what's going on here? No. You went and you stood with the NAACP. You went and you stood with Al Sharpton. Why you won't go and stand with Louis Farrakhan? Why you won't go stand with the minister? Why did you never make an attempt to stand with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Why did you never make an attempt to stand with Malachi York? Why did you go and stand with these people who we know are businessmen that have not and don't plan to corrected the condition of the people who you call black in America? They haven't done shit to stop that delusion from occurring in their minds of even calling themselves that. As a matter of fact, they played a hand in the delusion. Don't ever tell me you went to the NAACP. All you doing is letting me know that you don't give a fuck about what's going on for real. Because the NAACP don't give a fuck about what's going on for real. Yay trolling them with that Nazi shit, that's on them. They got to deal with that. That's their thing. You can empathize and sympathize. That is not your war. You have a war going on of your own. And until you realize that nobody's going to focus on that war but you to be able to fix it and then move to fix it, you'll still be in the same situation. Collectively, remember, I'm not talking about individually. They always try to use that because we got one billionaire or one millionaire over here, or somebody bought a house in Beverly Hills, that now there's no condition. It's the same shit from the Willie Lynch letter. It's the same shit Malcolm was talking about. All they did was put them in better situations. They're still in the same condition. I keep using that word because there's a contract that comes into play. There's a contract that comes into conversation when you use words like conditions or use words like terms. Terms can mean time periods, and terms can mean the words like the express terms of a contract. The conditions can mean how things look, how things are, what's the condition of this house, or the conditions could literally be dealing with the contract. What are the terms and the conditions? How are these things going to play out? I told these people 400 million of our ancestors were slaughtered. You had somebody saying that was impossible. Then I asked them, I said, yo, when do you think this started? They said 400 years ago. 400? Are you out of your mind? You only go back to 16. So to hell with the 1400s, to hell with 1492, to hell with the 7th century, to hell with the 6th century, to hell with all of the different things that was happening with the crusade, to hell with all of that stuff. You only deal with the transatlantic slave trade pinpoint that they gave you, and all of that other history just doesn't exist of what's been happening to our people worldwide. 400 million and counting is the number. I told him, I said, look, you can look at 40 million of us right now if we want to play their statistics games, because you are not the minority. If you hold the melanin dominant gene and you think that you're the minority of even America, you have been lied to. You're not 13% of any population anywhere. You're not. You're not. Okay? You go anywhere and you will see you there. That's the games. That's their way of saying, using the number 13, that you fall up under them 13 levels on a minority basis. That's why they call you the minority, because minors are not able to conduct their own business. They're not able to govern themselves. They don't have their own government. They can't control their own brains. So you say if they're a minor, then they can't have any true sign of life to be observed as major, meaning they can't even sign their own contracts or show that they have a signature, a sign of their natural living being. So they're our property of the state, which means property of the condition. If I say what state is your house in, I'm saying what condition is your house in. Those people by the mind become the property of this condition or this state, called the U.S. corporation. It's not living. It needs you to even breathe. So they herding all of our people around to make them think that, oh, you're minorities, you're minors. You need help. Somebody needs to oversee you. You need a government. No, you're major. Up the scale. You're major. You're so major that even the sun agrees you're major. You're so major that the world has feared you since the beginning of creation. That's how major you are. And never let anybody downplay it. It doesn't mean that you hate anybody, though. It doesn't mean that you take your majority and use it to obliterate others, or to be prejudiced against others, or to, ostracize others. No, you still show the love that you're capable of showing. You still be the compassionate people that you've been since all of this transpired, and you still are that, and that's what scares them. It scares a lot of people how you've gone through all of these things and you still got Malachi Yorks coming out. They've done everything they can to destroy this gene of people. That's why it's called genocide. And you still have these powerful minds coming out today. They can't stop it. Only thing that can stop it is us. All right? These people go home and they laugh and they party together and they regroup and speak about how we have moved as a unit to tear down one of our own yet again. Yet again. And not just one of our own who is speaking on our behalf. It doesn't mean that you have to look at him as the leader of black people. Nobody said do that. Who said that? Who said that? Nobody said you had to do that. However, When you look at what's going on in your industries around you, these celebrities, all these people are not doing what Ye is doing. They're not saying what Ye is saying. They're not speaking how Ye is speaking, but they all know it, including people like Charlemagne. They know it to be true. So why they won't speak on it? You understand? When you got your people behind you, can't no group of people cancel you. When you got your people behind you, can't nobody shut you down. When your people can come together and realize that there has to be something done, and there has to be something done fast, and they do that finally, the world is going to shut the fuck up. But as long as your people are separated and divided and conquerable because they are divided, as they told you that, right? Well, then they can make as much noise as they want to worldwide and say them people still don't get it yet. They still don't realize that they are jewels. They still don't realize that they don't want you to speak highly of your people, but they hold their own people in such high regard. They don't want you to speak highly of your people. Do you realize that? If you put your people on a pedestal, how these people, like the ones who are the faces of these slave owners on your dollar bills, these names on the streets that were used to be slave owners as well, these people that have statues in different parts of America that literally had slaves, brutalized people, raped people, all kind of things, and we put them in our history books and we stand up and pledge allegiance to their corporation. All right? If you put your people on a pedestal who haven't done those things and just speak about how great you are as a people, you become racist. You become prejudiced. You become bigots. Do you know why that is? It's the same reason why people will try to target somebody who's smart, a genius, very intelligent, beautiful, or handsome, right? And they try to make them feel bad about themselves. They try to target their self-esteem to destroy it. They become narcissistic in that regard and say all these mean things and try to beat them down. Like you got people in relationships who will do that to people and try to tear them down and not make them realize or to take their attention off the fact that they are an amazing person and they just shine so bright. Why are they doing that? Because they have fear of being inadequate. They have fear of being inferior. Nobody didn't tell y'all was inferior. Nobody didn't do that to these people who did this to our ancestors. Nobody did. Nobody made you look at yourself and then look at us and say that because you look like that and we look like this, and that must mean that we're going to brutally conquer you as a people. Nobody did that. Y'all did that in your brain. And when a people get scared, they're more dangerous than the people who they look at as proud. You see what happened when motherfuckers get afraid. That's what it is. When they get afraid of somebody conquering them, or when they get afraid in their brain that somebody is going to harm them, they get violent. They're the ones who do it. On any side of history, go research and just look and just think back. It was the motherfuckers who was afraid that did the most damage, including these people who were the Caucasoids, who went around worldwide destroying people's villages, destroying people's countries, raping and pillaging and all of the things that they are known to do historically. Now, does that mean look at them today and be like, because their ancestors did it, then that means you must be the ones who are about to do it again? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means, why the hell do you want me to forget that happened? But then you keep throwing all these other events at us like we supposed to fall down on our face and only feel sorry about what happened to your ancestors. Well, isn't it making more sense why they want you to forget about it? Because you dig deep enough and you'll find out. You dig deep enough and you'll find out. You dig deep enough and you'll find out that some of the people they told us to feel sorry for played a hand in the destruction of our people. You'll find out. Now, they can't deny that, so you got to know how to speak on certain things. If you just say Jews own slaves, then there's room for contention. There's room for pushback. But if you say, yo, didn't some of the Jews own slaves? Weren't there Jews who owned slaves? There's no pushback there. I don't want to hear no numbers about how many it was or how many it wasn't. It's still a reality, so that means that y'all left that out. That's not in our history books. We weren't taught that. And that's dangerous. Because why did you omit those details? And then you wanted to make us think that Kyrie was crazy. And that Kyrie was a bigot. Because he watched a documentary that spoke on some of those things. Y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. The world has been lied to. The world has been deceived. They can't prove any of the things that they're talking about. Any of these religions, they don't have any proof of any of these things. The world has been deceived. All right? You go back far enough, you realize 6,000 years ain't far enough. Maybe I should say it again. You go back far enough, and you'll realize 6,000 years ain't far enough for none of this shit to have happened. Not the splicing of the genes, the explosions of the chromosomes. Okay, since creation has been around for 6,000 years, and there's been some type of evolutionary process that created us as beings, whether you call it God or whatever the fuck, and we were supposed to become this living soul, then why we haven't evolved into that yet? It's been 6,000 years. Why has there been no significant change in the essence of what it means to be a human being? Somebody lying somewhere. Because our history doesn't start 6,000 years ago, and it doesn't start after Noah. It don't start after nobody named Ham. It don't start after nobody named Shem. It don't start after any of these stories. Our history does not start 6,000 years ago, because there's not even enough time for all of these events that you told me happened to have played out. So if our history didn't start 6,000 years ago, then somebody lying about all these stories that you have people coming out and saying actually happened, which is the reason why who they are, you know what I'm saying, to this day. It's the reason for who they are no, they're lying to us. Tell the truth. You did take stories that existed, yes. You made them your own, yes. You developed your own tongues, yes. You built for your own people, yes. You did for self and kind, yes. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, because you did what any people on the planet Earth have the opportunity as living beings to do. The only issue is, why are you trying to make it seem that all of these things are validated because you did that? No, you got people who come up under the Jewish orientation that say that there's gonna come a time where they're gonna be able to own slaves, but they say servants. And God is gonna allow them to do that. Not much different from what the people who come from certain Hebrew Israelite camps preach about and speak about. Something's wrong with that ideology. You feel that there are supposed to be people serving you, and you'll hold that to yourself. You won't speak about that, how the rabbis still teach about that. You won't talk about that, because then you have to explain to us, what do you mean by that? That there are supposed to be people who are granted unto you servants, even if you're talking about post-earth. Who's supposed to be serving you where? Because if you think that that's going to happen one day, then how are you looking at the rest of the people who are Gentiles? How are you really looking at those people? Are you looking at those people who are one day doomed to be servants or slaves again? And could that be a part of the reason why there were people who come from the Jewish orientation that played a part in that enslavement, that ideology? That ideology is dangerous. The Nazi ideology is dangerous as hell. Yes. And any ideology that says that people are supposed to be up under you, working for you, slaving for you, for whatever reason. Be it God, Shaitan, the snake, the Mac computer, or water bottle. That's a dangerous ideology. So that means that it's also a dangerous ideology for us to look at somebody like Ye, because he's speaking what he feels, how he feels, and demonize only him, when there's a whole history that we haven't been taught about what happened with the people who we're speaking about. Whole different history. Now you look at both sides and you look at the evils and you can point out the evils. It's just that why we don't have both sides, and why do you keep asking us to join this struggle? I'm concerned about that. You're using him to ask us to join this struggle, and you haven't joined us. And you're operating in our land. It's a difference. Our people are being dominated, destroyed. And you do have people who are in the music industry who come up under that orientation, who know that the type of messages they're pushing out are the messages of the synagogue of Shaitan, literally. Now, since we clearer on what I've been saying, if they're saying Baal is king, if they're saying Molech is king, If they're saying Baphomet is king, if the music industry worship Baphomet, if the music industry worship Baal, and you have these people who are pushing these messages out to our community that literally back up and support Baal's way of life, the destructive ones, the evil and the wicked ones, what do you think really going on here? Now, last thing I'll say about that part of the conversation is, again, only reason why they keep playing people off these conversations is because people are speaking too damn broad. Not everybody who is a Jew is an executive producer or owns a label or owns a store or owns a corporation. And not all of these people have a hand in a lot of the majority of them don't. Now, they might have ideologies that can be fucked up the same way most people have ideologies that can be fucked up. That's opinion-based. You might not agree that it's fucked up. Some people might agree that some of them ideologies is fucked up. You understand? So you have to make it clear. You should not be hating people just because they have a name attached to them. That's a fact. In the same breath, though, we're not going to act like y'all don't have organizations of people who are doing what Ye is saying is being done. And I'm an artist myself who's spoken to plenty CEOs, A&Rs. I've been to plenty studios in Atlanta where we stayed up for hours talking about the conditions of the contracts that people have yet to speak about, which is what Ye was saying we need to speak about. What's going on behind the scenes. I was talking to one of these brothers in Atlanta on Peter Street in one of these studios, right? And they were talking to me and said, FaZe, one day, you know you're going to be approached. If you ever think that, I was 15 years old. They said, you know, FaZe, one day you're going to be approached. If you ever think that you're going to be a part of this industry, they're going to approach you, right? And they were speaking about what Ye was talking about. And he had these shades that he had, these clear looking shades. And he said, they're going to hang you these shades. And I took the shades from him. He said, they're going to say, bite down on them shades. And I still didn't understand it while he was saying it. And he said, or he took the shades back from me. He put them up on the faders. And he scooted his foot over to mine. And he was like, or you'll be in a room full of people and they'll do that. And he said, and you're going to have to make a decision right then and there if you're going to move your foot. I said, what are you talking about? He said, family, most of these artists, this is one of the people who've been in the industry since before I was born. He said, most of these artists have grabbed their ankles for their deals. I'm 15 years old, right? I'm somebody who thought I knew everything there was to know about the industry, everything there was to know about hip hop. I went to a school at a studio and I learned a lot of the things that Ye is talking about from people who experienced it themselves. A lot of them engineers, everybody had a story to tell. And it wasn't all these people. However, it was a lot of those people that he was talking about. So Ye is not crazy. You keep trying to act like he's talking about everybody. He's not talking about everybody. He's talking about the ones he's talking about. So you can use Piers Morgan, whoever the fuck, the niggas who up close and personal, we done seen this shit or we know what he's talking about. No, we'll tell you, he ain't lying. He ain't crazy. Everybody got them same stories, but they know that they can't speak out against it. Because ain't none of the people who was in them rooms with me or in them studios with me having these conversations, I never seen them ever speak out on no platform or anything and say anything about it. Not that they even had a platform big enough to let people know what was going on. You understand? So it's been known. It's been known. So why did y'all act like it was nothing to have a conversation about? Let's have a conversation. Stop trying to act like he's trying to be this new person or this new version of Hitler. You understand? So you see him coming out and he trolling. Again, I don't have nothing to say about that. That's between y'all and him. Y'all get on him how y'all get on him. It's enough people out here speaking out against him. It's enough people to do that. It's enough people who gonna stand up and say that this person needs to be shut down. It's enough of them for that. But it's not enough people saying what he's saying, though. And it's not enough people supporting what he's saying. Because we need to get into it. Because I want to know if you have Jewish people or any people, Christian people, Jewish people, Christian people. I speak on all of this if you know me. If you know me. If you got Christian people. Now watch this. I say Christian. Do you see a specific group of people? No. Jew. Damn, that's a whole different reality, huh? No. If you have Christian people, if you have Jewish people, if you have Muslim people, or whichever religion, let's be clear, that are in this or a part of this music industry or Hollywood industry pushing the images, the frequencies of Shaitan, well, then that's a problem, because then I have a question of, if you were taught not to do that, not to stand for that, that goes against God's way. Well, then which God do you serve? Because your books say you can't serve two masters. You can't serve two masters. So if I'm taught to judge you by your works, then how you get off grabbing my people and putting them in position to be minions or soldiers for Baphomet when you coming up under a religion that says that you work for God? That means that if you even have a record label, or if you have a TV channel, or whatever you have, there should be no space or time allotted to the devil and his children, or meaning anybody who's going to do the works of Shaitan, unless you are complicit because you stand with Shaitan. Now, he'll give you everything. They'll give you everything. That's what they said they'll do. They'll let you have all of the kingdoms of the world. All you gotta do is bow down and worship them. What that mean? Yo, all you got to do is come up under the frequencies of the GOAT. Bow down. Be up under Baphomet. Be up under Baal. Before you come into this organization of an industry, or organization of Hollywood, a movie industry, or a music industry, or a TV industry, make sure you know before you walk through there that you see them stars on Hollywood. You see them? Yeah, I see them. Those are 5-pointed stars for a reason. Make sure you never get it twisted. Don't ever think that after you rise up to power, that you are going to live and operate and thrive in Shaitan's world, which the Bible literally says that the God of this world in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4 is Shaitan. You think them people going to let you come through and represent God on high? Why you think everybody who tried to do that got targeted? No matter who they were. Anybody who tried to represent that frequency was targeted and shut down, called crazy. You see them in the psychiatric ward. DMX, everybody. They did it to everybody. And they replaced all of those people with newer pillars of people who were standing with Shaitan. Do you understand? So Ye ain't crazy. He know what the fuck he doing. Now, they got a problem with Ye. But then if you got a problem with him, how about deal with what he talking about? Deal with, because you done dealt with everything but what he talking about. You gonna tell me nobody? I don't want to hear all this. All the Jews don't own record execs labels when it comes to who's in the industry owning them either. I'm wondering why you wouldn't deal with what he said. Because if somebody come out with some shit against me, or if I'm if I'm in the rooms and somebody say something about some Masons, they say Masons worship the devil. I say, wait a minute, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this clear. Yes, some Masons are Luciferians on paper. A lot of them are. Now, a lot of them also worship God. And a lot of them also worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot of them are Buddhists. A lot of them, it's just so many that just believe in a supreme being of some sort. Now, I don't have to go and tell people that because somebody came out and said Masons worship the devil, that they're a bigot, or they're anti-Mason, or we need to shut them down. Let's take all their money away. No, let's deal with it publicly and say, you're right, you're right. We can't speak for, as Jews, every single Jew. We can't invalidate your experience when you ran into those people. We can't. We have no way to, because you are you experiencing what you experience. Now, they can still say, yo, it's not all of us. Fine, that's a fair point. Now let's deal with the ones he's talking about. Let's deal with the crimes he's talking about. Let's deal with the raping he's talking about. Let's deal with the contracts he's talking about. But they don't want to do that. And that's what makes me, somebody who's able to be non-biased, scratch my head. That makes me scratch my head. I never like feeling like somebody trying to give me one side of anything. I'm sorry. If you ain't noticed that yet, you got a lot of more noticing to do. I never like feel like, if my brothers tell me, come run into my house, saying that some motherfuckers is fucking with them, on our way to go respond to that situation, I'm going to be making sure them niggas tell me everything I need to know before I get there. Don't have me running into some shit and I don't even know what the fuck going on. It's the same thing for everything else, and I advise you to think that same way. Don't ever just take one side and be like, oh, because somebody is saying this with conviction, or because somebody has a platform, or because somebody got millions of followers, or because they own this website over here, this news site over here, or because these people, I feel sorry for them. No, whoever they are, you better look into multiple sides. You better figure out more than one side of a story at all times. Okay? If you don't, you run the risk of being pulled along as gullible people, as sheep that you see, right? Into whatever direction the motherfucker who knows that you'll do that wants to pull you in. Okay? Because in this day and time, how many people seen the movie Black Adam? I told people go watch it. That was the homework. As a matter of fact, you're going to be having a lot of homework. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I give you a movie or anything, go watch it. I'm telling you what to go, you know what I'm saying? Just so that you can go see for yourself what I'm saying. Go watch the movie Black Adam. It's on SOAP, the number 2, DAY, Soap Today. I think it's on there by now. It should be on there by now. I think I saw it on there. Soap, SOAP, the number 2, DAY.TO. Soaptoday.to. The number 2, soaptoday.to. Write it down. Go watch the movie Black Adam later on. Everything I've been talking to y'all about is in the movie Black Adam. All right? We about to move into it. If you don't realize it now, you will realize it soon. There's a new algorithm that's spiking up. It's an offensive algorithm. Not offensive as in you said some shit, now my feelings is hurt. No, offensive as in it's time to go on offense. You're going to hear me say it a lot because I need that to be repeated through the algorithm. It's time for us to wake up out of our slumber and start moving around finally. We don't care about who they trying to put in what office. We don't care about Raphael Warlock or whoever the fuck Hershey man is. We don't care about none of them people or what they got going on or how many times they want to keep throwing this shit worldwide to all these other people to project whatever type of current they need to get whatever type of event or response they need. We don't care. 2023 up to the year 2030, where there's going to be major shifts taking place, this will be our new world order. We're going to take control over what is going to go viral. We're going to take control over what conversations we're going to be having. We're going to take control over what type of solutions we need. And stop letting these people who are allowed to have these platforms because they're not a threat to this shaitan establishment, right? We're going to stop allowing those people to give us our solutions or to give us our ratifications or to give us our ideas or to give us our philosophy. No, we're going to stop all of that. We're starting it now, though. Okay? There's a new algorithm being spawned. So when I tell you to go watch Black Adam, it's for a purpose. Those people were fighting over dominion of the brain, dominion over the consciousness, which is the variable that you have. How do you know that? Because they were fighting over the crown. And the crown was called the crown of Sabak. Okay? Now, if you know anything about Saba or Sabayit or Sabians or Sabbat or Sabbath, all of these words tie in. The rest that you might talk about in Hebrew, the Sabayit word that ties you back to wisdom and ancient Kemet, all right? The crown of Sabak. There was a war taking place, all right? Now, I'm going to show you something else. When you speak of Sabak, you can also look at the fact that Black Adam sits on one side. Black Adam. What do you think they're saying there? Black Adam. They can't get no more clear than that, okay? Because you're speaking about an original people, that conversation without going into the ideology of the original people. You're talking about an original people holding or possessing the science of even the atom, which they show you in the movie as, or the cartoon or in the comic book as the lightning strike or the enlightenment symbol that you see at the top of the screen. Okay? Now, if you look on one side, you see the Sebayak or the Shaitan or Sat or Saturn or S, the snake, the serpent. Okay? And then you see the Ba or the Black Adam. Okay? Which is a whole different conversation of who we're speaking on even then. So you have the Ba or the sheep or the lamb. Okay? And then you have Shaitan, which is the goat or the 5-pointed star. And you might think I'm just trying to say this because it sounds good, but when you watch the movie, you're going to see, damn, Faye's been speaking on this. He has been saying, and they put the movie out. And I'm telling you, you learn how to read the realm, all of these things is going to make sense. Because that crown is like the Quran or the Corona or the word chrome, which is dealing with a time period. And they're fighting for your mental right now. There's not just a war on who's going to be working for who or a war on how we're going to keep somebody. No, it's a war on the consciousness of the people that's taking place right now. There is a war on consciousness. There's no war on poverty. There's no war on drug, none of this stuff. It's a war on consciousness. They need your attention. They need you locked in. Because time is speeding up. They need all the energy they can get. They need all, and who I'm talking about they? I'm talking about the governments of this world. They need you. The governments of this world. You can even say Mark Zuckerberg and his establishment needs people to be locked into Instagram. They need people to be on there a certain amount of time. They need it because that algorithm is feeding so much of their program. If you're not on there, if you ain't on TikTok, I'm telling you, you better turn your notifications off because every time a notification is being sent, they're trying to grab you back in. You might have seen it on the movie. I think it was a Netflix special they did, the social media thing. I think it was called social media. I don't remember what the fuck it was called. I saw it a while back. But they spoke about it then. This phone is programmed. These apps are programmed to keep you engaged. Why though? Because your engagement with technology, your engagement with the world, this synthetic world has been built around you. Your engagement with this fallacy of a construct, this fallacy of an establishment that is operating around you, it prevents you from that engagement with God, or that engagement with your higher self, or the engagement with Yahayu, which means the living, old living, Yahayu. Go look it up. It stops you from being able to engage with you. The marriage of the Lamb is impossible when we're married to the beast. You can't be married to both. When we're married to lust, when we're married to one of the other things that Ye is speaking about, pornography, we can't move. When we're married to the distractions, when we're married to the delicacies of the harlot, they said that the world would be drunk with the wrath of her fornication, or the wine, of her fornication. Okay, forne, go look it up. It's the same thing. And the world is drunk, not just off of the sexual appetite or the sexual wine, but the wine of greed. We need more. News feed. Let me get on my app and feed myself more and more and more of the junk that they're pushing out. We're losing time as we do this. Okay, I'm telling you that we're churning this cauldron in a different direction. It's time to reverse the current. It's beyond time to reverse the current. You feel what I'm saying? So you go back and watch the Black Adam movie. It was like, remember the Transformers. If you remember the Transformers movies, they were talking about fallen angels, the Nephilim coming down onto the planet Earth. All right, they even have a Transformer movie where they talked, I think it was called The Revenge of the Fallen. But in the Transformer movie, they were speaking about the Allspark. If you know about the All or the El Kalum or the Source, the Autobots and who they call them, the Decepticons. Decepticons, but why are they called that? Decepticons. Well, because we told you, and we'll get into it in a second, they were here to deceive the whole world. Okay? The Autobots versus the Decepticons were here, and they were fighting about over that Allspark. Who's going to have control over this consciousness, this Allspark? El Elo, Elohim, Elion, Elion, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Obatala, the all is everywhere. El Kalum is everywhere. Okay, and they're fighting for it. Consciousness is being fought for right now. All right, and when you look at certain things like in the Quran, it said chapter 27, verse 82, it said that the word is fulfilled against the ones who you say are unjust. Okay, and they said that they were going to produce from this planet, the earth, a beast that was going to come out. And they said that the beast was going to open up his mouth. All right. And they said that the reason why this was going to happen was because mankind didn't believe in all of the things that their ancestors left for them. They didn't believe in those signs. They wanted to believe in technology. They wanted to believe in the distractions. They wanted to believe in that. And they gave their soul to that. And people don't realize that every day you wake up and you let this machine take over your consciousness, that clock is still ticking. It doesn't care if you're scrolling. It doesn't care if you're doing push-ups. It doesn't care if you're loving somebody. It doesn't care. Whatever you're doing, that clock is going to tick away. You better get out of this ideology that time doesn't exist, because as you still saying time doesn't exist, it's still operating around you. Whether you understand it or not, you're not the same being that you were in the location that you were in when you were 5 years old. You're a whole different being, and you won't be the same being in the next 5 years. There are changes taking place. Instead of just saying that it doesn't exist, how about working on better understanding what it is so that you don't lose it, all right? So that you don't mistake it, or so that it doesn't leave you or us. All right. So when I'm speaking on the signs that were being left behind and all the things your ancestors was laying out for you, I done told people over and over again, you got books like the Quran, which means the crown. When you look at it phonetically is what I'm saying. The crown is the Quran. Okay. You have certain things like the basic instruction before leaving earth, the Vedas, the Gitas, all of these books, pyramidic texts, or the words of your ancestors. Okay. Or just your elders talking to you. There have been warnings sent out. All right. So when you're dealing with the Quran, the code of the Quran, like I taught people, is 19, and you have Corona 19. All right. The codex of the Quran, if you don't believe me, a quick Google search, it'll show you that what I'm saying is a fact. The code of the Quran is 19. That's the actual code of the Quran. It's the reason why they made sure that Islam, which is the way of life that your ancestors had before they ever made it a religion, Islam became the enemy of the state. If you don't remember how many people they said was on the plane with Al Qaeda or the Taliban? They said it was 19 people. 19 on 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 19. Revelation 9/11 was speaking about how they said there were going to be two twins, destroyers, Apollyon and Abaddon. All of these things that I've broken down for y'all, they're playing out. As you were taught about the 19, the Quran code 19 in 1974, where they broke that down. And ironically enough, it was being broke down by people like Malachi York, and they ran off with it when he figured out what the code was. And in 1974, they finally established it, the same year my mother was born. But if you read the 74th chapter of the Quran, it explains to you that the number of the Quran is 19. Over it is 19. Why 19? Why AI? What are they trying to show you? What was the read? What was the programming that was taking place? What was the prophecy that was taking place that was these people were able to see beforehand what was going to be happening in your world and how to get ahead of the curve? They already gave everybody what they needed. The secret number of the Quran is 19. They gave you the program. So what is the chapter 74 called though in the Quran? It's called the hidden secret. Go look it up. If you think I'm lying, go make me a liar. All right? If you think I'm lying, go make me a liar. Over 1,000 years ago. Do you understand me? A chapter 7:4 called The Hidden Secret is revealed in 1974. What that secret is, 1974 gave you the secret of 74, which was called The Hidden Secret. And that's the only time you find the word 19 in the Quran. Over it is 19. Okay, they laid it out for you and they put the code right in the scripture. So they said over it is 19 to let you know what was going on. And when the Quran 19 came out in the year 2020, which it was supposed to be the year 2019, if you don't know, the novel coronavirus was supposed to come out in 2019. All right. Now, it was a little behind schedule, but that's how the divine moves. Because as it was behind schedule and they were not able to release Quran 19 on 2019 of Quran 19, COVID-19, C19, which is the code of the Quran, if you literally go look it up, they weren't able to release that until the year of Revelation, which was the year 2020, where everybody started to come out and say what? This is the year of vision. This is the year of revelation. All of these things have to be revealed. The veil has to be taken off now. Everybody has to see. So anybody who was doing that, which means helping people see anything that was going on, whether they were using the algorithmic expressions of the mark of the beast or the algorithmic expressions of the devil or the beast or whatever they were saying, okay, they made them a target. That was the virus. They made them people to target. Everything I'm saying to you, I've explained to you. I'm just wrapping it all around full circle so that you can be caught up and see why I was saying all those things then and why I'm saying it now. I told you the vaccine wasn't the mark of the beast. The vaccine was the mark of the beast. Okay? Because you look up what the vaccine is for real, it didn't have nothing to do with the things that they was injecting in people's arms. It had everything to do with a program. The vaccine is the program. When you go and research what the vaccine definition is, it has multiple definitions, and one of them deals with computer science. So guess where the computer science came from? The Quran. All right? The mark of the beast was dealing with this type of technology and all of the things that was going to be happening around it. They call it prophecy. Scientists call it prediction. These predictions have served to come true in ways that they can't even understand. They've been trying to outrun these things, but your ancestors laid these things out. Certain beings were documented to have come down with all of this stuff laid out. You understand? So what is the mark of the beast? The mark of the time period, not some mark like you're going to get a scratch in your wrist or a scratch on your forehead. All right? To let you know what was coming, what was about to happen. And the ones who you call the gods or the Elohim, they wanted to help the human beings. All right? And they came through and they gave people these signs. Through people like Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad, or through Krishna, or through Jesus, whatever you want to believe, or whoever you are right now. Some of y'all are getting signs. Some of y'all call them downloads. Y'all still being able to be communicated with and talk to people and let them know what you feeling and what you reading. You got brothers like Blue Pill and brothers like Red Pill who they can break down certain things so damn flawed and so lethal, all right, and read codes. That's the abilities that we've been speaking about. You got people from all over, gurus. These brothers and sisters can break things down and they receiving messages. Some people like the children who was contacted in Ruwa, Zimbabwe, they gave you a prophecy. But if you keep looking at it as some aliens just landed and it's some sci-fi story, you won't realize that what happened in Ruwa, Zimbabwe is the same thing that happened on that mount when Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad was said to have been contacted, or on that mount when the one who you call Musa or Moses was said to have been contacted. These people had a message to give you, and it had to do with technology. Am I tripping, or is anybody familiar with phenomenon? And I promise you, if you go and look into the word phenomenon, phenon, feminine, whatever words you're going to find with the etymology, you're going to find that it leads you back around to the word revelation. If you got my book, How to Speak Elite, you know that I'm telling you the truth. Why does phenomenon lead back around to the word revelation? And the documentary Phenomenon came out in the year of Revelation 2020. You can't make this up. You could try, but you can't. Okay? So what's happening now is you have, like the Black Adam movie I'm telling you about, Sabak, right? And his fleet of who you call the fallen angels or the Nephilim, or the lost ones, or the lost souls. They're moving heavier. They got to move faster. People are speaking now, say, yo, Elon Musk talking about moving forward with the Neuralink shit. Well, I hate to be able, like, I told you so, but they have to move faster with that. They have to. I told you, they got to speed up. They're racing time. All we doing is racing on to the next current event they keep throwing out there. They're racing time because they know that consciousness is the only variable. They know they have to race time, and they know they have to find a way to integrate mankind with beast, or integrate mankind with artificial intelligence, or integrate mankind with their technology in order for them to try to figure out a way out of here. They need more data. That's what they're working on. They're trying to advance all of these people. They're trying to advance, and they're using the fact that they're trying to say human beings should advance through this technology to get people to sign up for it. Now, there's going to be a point where if they can't get enough people to get on program with them, there will be a forcing, all right, or a causing of all people to receive, then which will be considered the mark in itself, the Neuralink and the phone in the hand or the chip in the wrist, okay? Because at that point, it will be in your hand and it will be in your brain or in your forehead. Allah, the word that they use in Hebrew, in your head. Okay, so what are they doing? They sending out these soldiers. They sending out these people who's going to carry out the works like in the music industry, affecting the frequencies of the consciousness of the people that are here right now, the human beings. And they're preparing, like they showed you in the movie Suicide Squad, the second one, with the 5-pointed star, with the eye in the center, right? Which is, I guess that's just a coincidence within itself, that there was a 5-pointed star going around affecting people's consciousness, sending out these miniature 5-pointed stars to latch on to people's brains and alter their consciousness, lock them all down like they did in the movie Matrix, okay? And they're saying that they're going to be able to bring the beast to the surface just like it was written. They're going to be able to bring hell to the surface. And if you go and watch that movie, I'm telling you, Black Adam, spoiler alert, all right, their goal is to bring the beast to the surface. You'll be able to see what I'm saying when you go watch it. So you read things like Matthew 6:9 out of the Bible. And I'm not going to keep standing on the scripture. I'm just showing you how these things are tying in. I'm sorry that some people think that these books is irrelevant. If you think they're irrelevant, you already left behind. These two books run the world. You think they're irrelevant? These are the two books of the two most major religions, which means these two books have a role in the dominating of the ideologies, the perceptions, the philosophies of billions of people. And you think these are irrelevant books? No, these books have been weaponized because that's all they could do. That's all they could do. Try to weaponize these books on people. However, we knew they were going to do that too. That's how ahead of them we are. We knew they was going to do that. Okay? So you read things like Matthew 6:9 is what I was about to say. It was speaking out, saying you go to those beings. You go to those Elohim. You go to those extraterrestrial beings. You go to God, however you want to say it. Okay? And you say this prayer or you call out to them, how people be saying they can channel them. And what are you saying? You want to bring the kingdom to earth. Why was it set up in Matthew 6:9 that way? What is the 6-9 number that's being used there and also being used in Genesis? 6-9 having to do with some type of polarity, some type of duality of 6 and 9, a hidden message there. One war that's taking place in you, the jihad, as they call it in Islam, all right? Or ma'at, all right? The scales that are balanced inside of you, but there's a war that's taking place that says the darkness is trying to win. The lust is trying to win. The sex side is trying to win. The animalistic nature is trying to win. And they're doing everything in their power to make it be that that side wins. Why though? Because that's how you stay in control. Because if you have the God side activated and everybody operates as they know that they're supposed to be able to as gods, there's no need to have no president. There's no need to have no chief. There's no need to have no governor. There's no need to have mayors. There's no need to have police forces. No, because we will all be at that point gods of the earth, governing ourselves, walking in alignment with the divine law instead of against it. I got a book coming out. It's literally in 2 days called How to Love Again. All right, I'll do a reset later on for the link that's up. I'm moving right now. I feel it. You know what I'm saying? But I have a book coming. I'm going to break that down more of what I mean. You feel me? So right now, if you were able to reach out and speak to those people, you would be saying, bring that kingdom down to this God, to this world. You feel what I'm saying? Don't let these people run this world anymore. And if you want to look at yourself as those guys, that's fine with me as well. However you need to fathom what I'm saying, it needs to be done. They can't stay in control. The same way their brains came together to put together these establishments, the same way your brains can come together. But if you don't, you just don't. And just because it's unlikely doesn't mean that it can't happen. If it's not, you know what I'm saying, probable, doesn't mean that it's impossible. All right? So like I was saying to you earlier, if they're saying, call this kingdom down to this world, or call this your thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, or bring the intergalactic law or the galactic law down to the planetary, all right, or down to earth, you reign judgment here because these people have conquered for way too long and they leading this world into oblivion, all right? If they have to call for a kingdom here that's supposed to be God's kingdom, if you hear me, then whose kingdom is set up here on the planet earth? It's not God's. It's a different group of beings. And that's Baal. So Baal is king of this world. But isn't it clear? Am I really teaching somebody something right now? And I know people think that these people don't exist, but it's like, okay, fine. You don't have to think they exist. Haven't you heard, though, of what it means to be wicked? You don't think anything has been done wicked on the planet Earth? You don't think that there are still wicked people in position? There are bombing campaigns happening every day. There are people dying every day by the hands of these beasts. All in the name of conquering people, stealing their land, taking their resources, taking their technology that you don't know they had over there. Okay? So it's their lust for power that took over these shaitanic beings, these animalistic beings, the nature that they had activated. The Decepticons that I'm telling you about from the movie Transformers. They deceived the whole world. Baal, Baphomet, Molech, Shaitan, Iblis, Tanin, Tarnush, Beelzebub. These are all just names of groups of people that you have been convinced just means one person. You feel what I'm saying? Like Baal. If you don't know who Baal is, that's just one of the names, okay, of one of the extraterrestrial fleets or one of the extraterrestrial forces that were observed at that time. And I tell people, even when you say Anunnaki, that's an observation word. You're trying to make it seem like it's just one race of people. No, that's an observation that's saying extraterrestrial. Okay? So if you go according to the records, right, and think about how the ones who were called the Canaanites, right, they were worshiping people like Baal or gods like Baal, that would still be Hebrew words being spoken, but it's said to be one name. But if you were to say the word Ba in Hebrew, you'd be speaking about it. It's an arrival of somebody. Somebody's coming. Go look it up. Ba. Okay? Somebody's about to come, or somebody's arriving. All right? Now, if I say Tanin Ba, what does that mean? Tanin or Tarnush is a dragon. All right? And then the word Ba means this dragon is supposed to arrive, or this dragon is coming. So this would be either the observation of Tanin Ba, or it could be a prophecy. All right? So Tanin is coming could be like, I can literally look out and say, okay, there he goes. I can see them, the dragon fleet. There they goes, right? These people are right here. All right? Or the serpent fleet, or like they showed you in the movie, what was it? They called it the Wakanda Forever. Okay, I almost said Black Panther. Wakanda Forever. All right? They had the feathered beings, the feathered serpent god. Okay? Tanin, the ones who went into the oceans, by the way. The ones who went into abyss, the same thing that you'll read and write this down, chapter 9 of Amos. Read chapter 9 of Amos in the Bible, and you'll read about how the serpent lives, and they're in the waters. That's why you have movies like the movie Abyss that shows you that there are whole establishments down in the waters, whole life forms and universes, establishments, or what's the word, civilizations down in the waters. Okay? All right, so if I say Tanin Ba, I'm saying I see this person coming right now. Or I can say Tanin Ba and say that this means that this will be happening eventually. There's a prophecy there that's saying one day Tanin is coming. He's going to come. Okay? So my point is, if y'all remember, like I told you, they had the movie Bug's Life. I spoke on this on my live. All right? And they were saying that there was these people called like the ant people, and they had to prepare these offerings for the cricket people. If you remember the Bug's Life movie. So who were the cricket people? The cricket people were these beings who had the ability to fly. They were depicted in the movie as beings with wings, the cricket people. And then you have these ant people who couldn't. All right? So you read up on Baal and you read up on Baphomet and you look at their images and depictions and you'll find them with wings, like Molech is depicted with wings. I'm showing you a allegory, also an analogy, also a relationship to what's going on with that Bug's Life movie, what's going on with what happened with the Canaanites and Baal, what's going on with children that's going missing now. All of these things tie in together because these stories are still talking about there were sacrifices laid out. Okay? And they had these beings who could fly in the Bug's Life movie who were the cricket people, and they needed sacrifices or offerings, as you call them now. Okay? And when it came time for them to collect, which was seasonally, they would come every season. When people speak in terms of sacrifices and offerings, most of the time they're only speaking from a ritualistic perspective that's reenacting, you know what I'm saying, how people would lay out these offerings at certain points in times. Okay? So you say, this is my ritual, I lay this out. Okay, you got people who burn offerings on their altars, or people who might lay out food for the ones they call the spirits. Okay, or a lot of, you know what I'm saying? A lot of different people might lay out offerings for, ancestors, but it's all ritualistic. Even if you believe in it or even if it works, it's still a ritual aspect that's being taken in. They were saying not spirits. They were saying not gods or some ghosts. They were saying these are beings that come and we're going to leave our children out here because they come for these children. You understand? So the actual people who were worshiping these beings like Baal and their fleet, they were literally sacrificing people, even their children. Okay? And you'll find it in places like Deuteronomy 12:31. You'll find it in places like Psalms 106:37. Okay? And they talk about all those things. All right? So my point is this. The people like the Canaanites, when they would come and sacrifice those human beings to those otherworldly beings who would then eat them people, flesh-eating human beings that you hear about even in the book of the giants, okay, who some of them you would say that they were giants. There were giants in those earth in those days. If you read the book of Giants, you'll read that there were certain types of beings who were hunting human beings and they were killing the inhabitants of the earth. All right, they would hunt them and they would kill them. So Earth at that time, which would have been called Eridu or Tiamat, was a place for game or a place where people were hunted. So another movie I would tell you to write down is the movie Prey, Prey. All right, it's a spinoff, I think, on the movie Predator. I think it's a spinoff, but I think it might have just came out. Okay, but you can fact check me on that. Meaning it's one of the movies that came from that movie series. But it showed you how certain people were being hunted in the planet Earth by extraterrestrial beings at that time. Way more advanced, who flew on things like thunderbirds, all right, which they depicted them as beings who had the ability to fly. The same way they showed you with Shaitan, who comes to be Santa Claus, Baal, and Baphomet. They all have some type of depiction of flight, whether it's the wings or whether it's the actual sled or the sleigh that can fly in the air. Okay, they're symbolic of the same type of flying chariots that they showed you, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible or depicted or spoke about in the Bible. Or in different books before that, flying palaces with the Brahmanas, you feel me? So just the Bugs Life movie alone can show you how these depictions have been played out where people have to be sacrificed, children have to be sacrificed, or they were showing you leave out an offering for these winged beings. Okay? So you could even look at the name of the description of Baal to let you know what was actually happening, not just some name of the being. These beings are coming, and they came seasonally. They came every now and again. But you'll find depictions of Baal with the wings, all right? Just like Baphomet. And just like the Ba from ancient Kemet, if you remember the Ba, which you had the Ba and the Ka, okay? The Ba and the Ka was like spirit bird type aspect beings, okay, that delivered your soul in the afterlife to wherever it was that you were about to go. So the Ba at that time was still depicted with wings. So you have Ba, Al, meaning Ba, somebody is coming. El, who is Al, is coming. Okay? So when you see the wings, you automatically know that you're speaking about some type of flight or some type of capability to fly. Some type of ability to travel through the air or even in Shamarim, which was the heavens, the same way the Ba was able to do. So Baal is coming, okay? El, the gods at that time, they were saying, we see these beings coming. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm telling you, there may not be anybody who's going to break it down how I'm breaking it down for you, but if you follow me or walk with me and how I'm breaking it down, you'll be able to see how all of these things can tie in to show you what's moving, okay? People go missing when they abduct these children and nobody knows. It's crazy how after I was telling people, pay attention to all these different people that's going missing, literally within the next few days, you start seeing waves of people going missing around the same time. I'm telling you, they always go missing. Waves of them going missing, but where are they going? You think your government doesn't know? You think that they can't target and locate where these people are? They have all this technology and they can't find anybody. Okay, I'm trying to tell you. But people go missing and you'll never hear from them again. That was happening in Nome, Alaska. Go look it up. The disappearances of Nome, Alaska, unexplained. Never, people couldn't get down to the bottom of it. The authorities couldn't figure it out. They made the documentary on it. The documentary was called The Fourth Kind. And they showed people on camera in that film or in that documentary that those beings do come and they take children. And they're not just some beings flying around with wings or not just these, you know what I'm saying, depicted characters out of some story. No, they had a vehicle. Okay, Baal, Malek, Baphomet, Lucifer, Azazeleth, they had vehicles. And those were the ones who you call the cherubim or the ra'ah. All right, sometimes you call them the cherubim or the cherubs. The little baby angels they used to show you with the trumpets. That's because them vehicles who were looked at as baby angels or baby planes will fly around with these trumpet sounds. The blaring sounds that used to come from the vehicles. The same type of tones that they're trying to show you when they talk about the sleigh bells. The sleigh bells had tones coming from the chariot of Baal or the chariot of Shaitan. These are tones. Not only does Shaitan have tones, you hear that there are tones coming from these ships all the time, flute-like sounds. And look, I promise you, if you go watch the Phenomenon documentary or go watch the Aerial School Phenomenon on Amazon Prime, I'm not sure if they released it on Soap today. You can look for it. I haven't seen it on there. But one of the clips that I have seen of it was when they were asking what sound did the vehicle make that them children saw. They said it sounded like a flute. Are you with me? So if you say flute, if you say trumpet, if you say bells, these are all sounds or tones that have been described for thousands of years at least coming from them vehicles. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you see why they depicted them angels with trumpets? They're not some people flying around with wings with some trumpet. Because the question is, where the hell they get the trumpet from? Who's the person who make trumpets in heaven? You know what I'm saying? What white robes of radiant glory are you talking about? Who make clothes in heaven? No, they were observing some radiance. They knew that it was beings there or people there on this vehicle, so they depicted the person and they said that they were flying around. All right? So the cherubs that you were speaking about in these stories, those are all beings who fell if you're speaking about the Nephilim, or came down or descended onto the planet Earth. And you put them in the same category of what was called the owl people. All right, you can find them everywhere, the owl people. Even the Sumerians depicted them because they could fly and they literally resemble owls. How many people have the How to Speak Elite book? Okay, I speak about all of that in the How to Speak Elite book. Okay, their eyes were larger than the human beings. They had heads that were larger than the human beings. So if you think of that owl statue that sits at the Air Force base, that's disguised as just some cult meeting place that Alex Jones was talking about, okay? You know, so that everybody believes is just some ritual spot. The owl, who everybody literally, if you go look it up, says that's Moloch, or that's Molech, or Maluk, M-L-K, if you just want to abbreviate, which is how the name will appear. Also, that name meant ruler. The same way Baal means ruler or Lord. You feel what I'm saying? So the owl that was mentioned in the Fourth Kind documentary, when they put all of those people under the hypnosis who was saying that they had some encounter with this owl and people was trying to call them crazy, all right? They put all them people up under hypnosis. They were trying to see, why are all these people having the same type of these experiences? Why are all these people having the same type of nightmares? All right? These memories of these owl beings who standing outside of their windows or in the room with them. When they went and put them up under hypnosis, they was able to see all them people were realizing they're not just some owls. You even had one of the brothers who was saying, they said, that's not an owl. I know what they are. And they were extraterrestrial beings, okay? And if you go and watch the Fourth Kind documentary, I'm telling y'all, they even had scenes where they caught on tape, on record, the language that them people were speaking. And them beings were not speaking English. Guess which language they were speaking? They were speaking Sumerian language. Okay? They were speaking a Sumerian language. So you go watch that documentary and you're going to hear them voices of what literally could be, because this was actually recorded and they put it in the form of a film where they put the movie next to it, like how they made it be that you could see the actual recording and then you could see how they were recording it as Hollywood would record it. They put them scenes next to each other at times in that documentary, which I call a documentary because that's what it is. Okay? You feel me? And they were able to hear them people speaking in a language. They even brought a language specialist in on the ancient languages, and he was like, that's Sumerian. I know what that is. And he was breaking down what was being said. You feel me? But why were they speaking Sumerian? Why were the Sumerians talking about them same looking people, them same groups of people? Okay? So even when, if you read in your realm with me, you see words like Baal, the rulers. You see words like Moloch, the ruler. Okay? And all of these beings is being spoken about as it pertains to child trafficking, the business of abducting children, or Monsters Incorporated, the Monsters Inc. that's happening, the business of these monsters. That means that they take these children and they siphon from them fear. They siphon from them energy and trauma, or they kill them, or they slaughter them and use them for food. All of these things that people know has been happening, even if you're just talking about the reenactment of the rituals where people are sacrificing children or letting them bleed out and doing all these things that you know that these people have been doing in different places on the planet Earth. Okay? When you speak about Baal and you speak about Moloch and you speak about Kenan or QAnon, if you spell out the word QAnon, you're spelling out the word canon or canon. And that word means ruler. Go look it up. But what were they speaking about? Child sacrifice, child trafficking, child consumption, adrenochrome. Okay? So look up that word QAnon, I'm telling you, and you're going to find the word canon, which means rule or ruler. All right? So it's all about the rulership. Who's running this world right now? God of the world. And who's God of the world? Shaitan. They run this world, the fallen angels. I asked one of the Jews in one of these rooms, I said, whatever happened to the fallen angels? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, do y'all believe? Because I know they do. Or have y'all been taught? Because I know they have. about fallen angels? He said, yeah, I have been taught about it. I said, okay, so are you aware of whether or not those fallen angels who descended onto Tiamat or Earth or Adama or whichever land they landed on, okay, do you believe that they left ever? Do you know whether or not they still here? And he had no answer for me. He had an answer for that's how it always is. People got an answer for everybody else's questions because they be saying shit that's just like borderline basic. But then I ask a question because I want to know. If you believe in this shit, well, you believe in all of it. Don't just tell me about how Jacob was this nice person and he had children and now y'all here. He fought angels. He warred with God. There were whole fallen angels that come into the conversation. Where are they at? Do they still exist on earth? And if you don't know that, or the rabbis don't know that, or they just won't tell you that they know that, well, then that's a problem. Because if they still exist on the earth, I have another question. Where are they? And if they left, where the hell did they go? Because they couldn't go back to heaven. You didn't write that in the story. You didn't say nowhere where it said that, oh, and then we let the fallen angels back into heaven. You didn't say any of that. You said that there was going to be destruction that took place that destroyed the destroyers of the earth. And in the Quran, it said that anybody who was walking with Iblis and moving on behalf of Iblis, or the ones who was leading people to literal disobedience, you said that they were going to be destroyed with Iblis in the Quran. In all of these stories, you talk about these fallen angels being here and destroying the earth, destroying the people, causing them to walk away from God, causing them to flee away from what his righteousness was. You see that in all of these stories, and you don't know where they went. You don't know where none of these giant beings went. They don't still exist on the earth to this day. All right? They weren't consumed by the darkness to the point of consuming children. Them giants who were in the earth in those days that were literally documented in the book of Giants for going around and killing children and killing people and eating them, slaughtering them and using them for food, where did they go? Do the people who run this world still work for them? Y'all better wake up with what I'm trying to show y'all. Because if you ask them this, watch them do that. They'll glitch. No. Don't talk about nothing else but the angel side. I get it. Okay, y'all are Israelites. Y'all are Jews. Okay, all right. Now I want to talk about where them fallen angels at. And don't tell me they spirits because spirits can't eat people. Don't tell me they spirits because spirits can't come down. You understand? And present themselves to people. None of that could be happening if we were talking about just some gas. So the truth of the matter is, if we are to believe in any of these things that these people are telling us, all right, about their stories, then we need them to explain to us, anybody who comes from any of these religions, where are these fallen angels now? And I'll tell y'all, for them, they're still here. You don't have to believe me. They're still here. And they still operate as rulers. That's why you have these words flying around in your algorithm that's telling you what's going on. Baal is king of this world. And there is nothing that you can do about it unless you turn back. Literally turn back to the ways of the divine. Which means that instead of individuality, you choose indivisibility. I break that down in the How to Love Again book too. Shameless plug. You have to choose indivisibility. How do you choose indivisibility? Well, you have to be under God, not under Baal. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can't do that if you're up under a God that goes against that. Division and conquering. Divide and conquer. Okay, so the people, when they talk about the cabal or the satanic cabal that the canon was speaking about, all right, when I say canon, now you should know that I'm saying Canaan, QAnon, okay? That's the rulership or canon of Shaitan. You feel me? I told you, QAnon was infiltrated. QAnon was an outright infiltration. Do you understand me? When they tried to make it seem like Pizzagate was the end-all, be-all for human trafficking and that was a hoax and we move on from it, you know that the devil was behind that. You know that them people was behind that because they can't have you snooping around and finding out where all these people are going, y'all. They can't have you thinking that for yourself, wait a minute, you mean to tell me, like I said in my lyrics for the Here Comes Santa Claus, wait a minute, you mean to tell me Y'all have technology that can scan literally the whole planet from the sky. You can target and pinpoint facial recognition mechanisms, you know what I'm saying, to be activated for people thousands of miles away. And you can't find out where the last time a person was seen literally after somebody has described the vehicle, the tag number, and all of that. You can't find, if you've ever looked into the type of technology that your government has, even when it comes down to the legal system that they call the legal system, or the justice system, or the police departments, or the FBI, them folks have cameras set up in every neighborhood, and they have machines that pick up on algorithms of how many times somebody done, I'm not making this up, they able to see how many times you done went to somebody's house. There's a line of activity that they can draw out through their data on their screen. Okay, you better go look at what I'm telling you. And they can be like, hey, this nigga done went to this person's house 17 times in 4 days. And we got 5 other people in the same neighborhood that done went to this person's house 17 more times in 4 days. This might be the trap. And then they send people in and they find out, yeah, this is the trap. So you got all that type of algorithm moving from the damn sky and from the cameras. And we can describe for you a vehicle. And the best response you have is to send that shit to my phone. Like, I'm supposed to get up out of my bed and go find whoever the fuck, wherever the fuck this vehicle is. And I can't have a thought to myself without your technology picking up on the fact that I'm thinking it. Are y'all hearing me? The government is in on it. They're in on it. They have to be quiet about it. Don't think that somebody can come and speak to you and say, nigga, I work for the FBI. None of that's going on. You work for the FBI. You're not the Men in Black. If you didn't know that the FBI is the Men in Black from Boys, what I say, Boys and Men, what's the shit? The movie Men in Black. If you didn't know that the FBI is the Men in Black from Men in Black, you just learned that today. The FBI is the Men in Black from the Men in Black. J. Edgar Hoover was one of the direct orchestrators of the Men in Black project. That's why they show you what the Men in Black really deals with in the movie Men in Black, just in case some 24-year-old comes and tells you in 2022 that they are the Men in Black. You'll think I'm crazy, and you'll think I'm only quoting some movie. But I'll tell you, they got documentaries on it where they speak about J. Edgar Hoover's involvement with extraterrestrial beings. They have documentaries on it. Anytime there was extraterrestrial activity, J. Edgar Hoover was the first to know. They sent documentation files and everything to him. They were looking for the rising of what they call a Messiah. Why were they looking for the rising of a Messiah that could electrify and unify the black nationalists? Because that was the prophecy. Why did they use them words in the counterintelligence program? Are y'all with me? Because the prophecy said that the Messiah would not be from Earth. They already knew that melanin-dominant extraterrestrials existed. They were trying to see if they could target and find whoever it would be that could have been the insemination of those people. If you don't know what insemination is, go look it up. It's dealing with you plant a seed in somebody's womb. Or you take on the form of another being who could be human in that time period, and you impregnate somebody with that seed. So that seed, which you just look at as just some climax or just some, just some orgasm that yields a life. No, if it's yielding life, guess what else is yielding? It's yielding genetic code. It's yielding information. I could take some genetic code from one person and genetic code from another person and create a whole different type of person. Just based off of whatever genetic codes I put together, I can create somebody that I say, I want this nigga to be able to jump high and I want him to be light-skinned. And I can go find some people to be, are y'all with me? This is the same type of concept that people like Hitler was talking about, the eugenics. You can do it. You don't have to do it with genocide. It can be done. They do it all the damn time. People do it all the damn time without even realizing they doing it. I like her eyes. She got some hazel eyes. So I want my baby to have hazel eyes. So you put 2 and 2 together without being a geneticist yourself. And guess what? Lo and behold, your baby comes out with hazel eyes or what you call pretty hair. Not saying that that's the only way people do it. Some people say, I want my baby, you know what I'm saying, to be darker than me. And they go find somebody darker than them. And the baby comes out darker. I'm telling you, Okay? This is the same type of science that was used to graft human beings. A piece here and a piece there to create this. 1 + 1, 2. Now you have a whole new creation of being. Breeding takes place with dogs. Am I losing anybody? So when they were saying that they were looking for the Messiah, somebody who was going to be able to rise up and electrify and unify the black nationalist movement of bringing people out of death into life, or a lost or a dead people into the light, the activation thereof, which would have been a part of the sifting process that they speak about, they said, we got to shut this down. Because if that prophecy comes true, our rule, are you hearing me? Our rule will also be coming to a close. They know that. That's why they got scared. They've been scared. They've been looking at anytime they thought somebody was God, boy, them folks got scared like a bitch. When it came to Malachi, they were so frightened. They didn't even think they could kill, even though they had assassination attempts on Pops. If you don't know, they had a lot of assassination attempts on Malachi, even before Tamaray. Okay? But them folks said, let's try to lock him up and just keep him sitting still and hope that because he's locked up, there will be no more. But what they missed was, you don't get one. There's not just one of us. There's a lot of us. Now, what they worked on was making sure that before, when them children are being born, inject them with this, inject them with that. Put them into projects. Why? Because you got to watch them type of people. Prophecy said they're going to be born from this type of people. Watch them. Feed them cheese. Give them everything that you can give them to try to shut down their pineal, to calcify it. All right? Anything you can do to make sure that if there's a God gene to be activated in any of these people, don't let it. Don't let it. Don't let it. And what they did not count on is that while people like Malachi was speaking, there were alterations happening in the genes of even myself and my parents. So before I even got here, there was activations. They tried to shut it all down. Are you hearing me? So as the FBI literally used the language Messiah, y'all think that these people don't know what's going on? You think the books don't have anything to do with anything. They know that they have everything to do with everything, and we just don't know what they're about. They have everything to do with everything. Okay? That's why they had to use confusion. That's why they had to take books out. That's why they had to add all this extra commentary. Look, you can read the book of Revelation, and that's the Bible. You can read the book of Revelation. That's the Bible. You feel me? If you want to, you can take into consideration Genesis, and then you got all the Dead Sea Scrolls and all this other stuff that created Genesis. But if you want to read the basic instruction before leaving Earth, that's Revelation. That's the books that they said people was going to be blessed by. Revelation. And the Revelation ties into the Quran. And they know all these things were supposed to be playing out according to that, because that was how the read algorithmically was coming through before they even gave you the computer that shows you that you have computers that know how to do that. Go look up how computers can predict the future. Go look it up. Go look up how you have certain processing units that allow for these things that you think is just machines in front of us, all right, to be able to not just predict the future, predict your algorithm. All right, this person is going to get up around about 7:30 every day, and is going to take all of 30 seconds for them to yawn and reach for the phone, and yep, they're on the phone. They're predicting that. And they're trying to figure out how to decrease that time between you waking up and you grabbing the phone. I'm crazy, though. I'll be crazy, okay? Because I'm telling you, the flood is coming. All right? So I'm telling you, go watch Black Adam and go watch that Transformer movie I told you, Revenge of the Fallen. All right? And there was another one. Watch the movie Prey, I think I said. Go watch the movie Prey, okay? Any movie I tell you, you just take it for homework, and whenever you get a chance to, you go and listen to it or watch it or whatever I send you, just so you can be up on game of all the other things that they put it in it, because it's not by chance. All right? So the 6 and the 9 that I was talking about earlier, that's the war. That's the Adam versus Sabak. That's the fight for the crown. All right? Where's the crown going to lay at? I told you, people like Larry Hoover, the overseer, he put the G on the crown. Why he put the G on the crown? Because when you put the G, which is your God, all right, stationary in the crown chakra, you're operating from a different head. Like the elders used to say, you thinking with the wrong head or you thinking with the right head. You operated from a different head. All right? There are certain times, like I explained in the How to Love Again book, there are certain times for certain things and certain times going to be activated certain ways. Yes, now this is the time of Corona. You need to exist in the crown chakra as a people. Okay? And that's what they explaining. So when you're saying 6 and 9 or the yin and yang, you're saying the dark and the light. Okay? Which would be your Maya or your Ra wa Shemesh. Your Maya would be the moon and Shemesh is the sun. Okay? But when people are saying Baphomet is the 6 and the 9 or the duality or the as above so below rather, that's not the case. Okay? What am I saying right now? If you think about people like Drake, the Draconian, how you know Drake is the Draconian? Well, it's the read. You may not know that, but if you can read, you can read. Okay? What did he say? What a time to be alive. You and yours versus me and mine. Did anybody wonder what the fuck that meant? What you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What a time to be alive. You and yours versus me and mine. Now, if Drake, okay, or Draco, or Dracon Ian, all right, that resonating artist, okay, who's literally showing you depictions of him praising the 6th god, who is Baphomet. All right, how do you know he's Baphomet? Because Baphomet does not have the yin and the yang. He only has the yin. If you go look at the pictures of Baphomet, you'll only see the moon. That's why I told people, I said, what's all these people on Clubhouse promoting Baphomet? What's all these brother panics and these conscious people? What they got going on? Who lied to them? That's not as above, so below. The pentagram ain't us. That's Heka. Heka is as above, so below. The Star of David, Dawood, which is the Merkaba, as above, so below. The 6-9 in Matthew, as above, so below. The Revelation 21, speaking about something coming to earth to clear up the confusion and bring heaven to earth, as above, so below. Not this leftism that people are speaking about when you're only talking about the left path. How did we get to that is what we supposed to be coming up under? I don't know. But whoever did it, I was already telling them. I said, nah, y'all got to move out the way. I don't know what y'all got going on. Something wrong. Something wrong. All them brother panties and the people, I don't know where they at, but they had to be silent. Something is wrong. If there's an algorithm rising up to tell our people to come up under the same beast that I'm literally out here screaming we're up against, you don't have to take Faze's word for it. Look out into the world. Okay? This beast is running shit. The left is trying to dominate the whole political party. This ain't the same shit from 8 years ago, y'all. This ain't the same shit from 12 years ago. This ain't the same shit from 20 years ago. This is a whole different ball game. A whole different one. All right? So Baphomet is the 6th god. Okay? He's not the moon and the sun. He's the moon only, which is the 6 only. And anytime you have a realm that starts to be overrun by the 6 ether forces only, okay, they dominate. They dominate. You don't have balance. You don't have order. You have disorder. But what image does Drake push out in front of the world? When you see him doing the 6 god prayer, that's one thing. But doesn't he also come up under somebody? I don't think nobody in here with me. I don't see nobody in here. Doesn't he come up under OVO? I don't see nobody in here. It's just me in here. So Drake don't come up under the owl. It's just me in here. You understand? He prays to the 6 god and he comes up under OVO, the album, the owl. So, okay, what a time. They don't hear you. To be alive. You and yours versus me and mine is a statement. And that statement, as I heard it, was a proud statement. What a time. You know what day and time it is when you got the algorithm showing you Drake, the 6 god, and the owl dominating in the music industry. God's plan. You feel me? Or is it just me? Because if it's just me, I understand it's late. You know what I'm saying? OVO. That's the owl. If you go and find, the owl is being presented in the masonry. The owl is being presented in Illuminati. The owl is on your dollar bill. The owl, blah, 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 the owl is everywhere. And they even depict the owl as the gray alien. When you look at a dollar bill gray alien, you'll find an image. And they only say gray as in that's one pigment. That's like saying the human race is gray. No, or the human race is brown. No, it's different, you know what I'm saying? Shades or colors when it comes to the pigment. Okay? So you only had one group of beings who really had that grayish kind of pigment. It was other types of depictions like they show you in the movie E.T., where some of them was brown skinned too. Or some of them was melanin recessive looking beings, like the Pleiadians are being shown. Okay? So these are extraterrestrial people. That's who run this world. You feel me? And the ones that's running this world is Baal and his people. So this is God versus the devil. Black Adam versus Sabak. The simplest way to put it is what I'm saying, because it's some who see what's happening on the planet from outside of your atmosphere, they'll look at it and say it's evil. They'll say it's evil here. Like they left that message, if you remember, with that crop circle that was translated with some type of encryption using the binary code. And they were saying you have to beware the false gifts or the false promises, okay? And the things that people was going to be bringing that was going to be false. They told you to beware of it. And they said, believe that there is good out there. Some of y'all might remember what I'm talking about. There was a crop circle that was saying it at that time. Not all of these beings agree with how this ship is being ran. But you're living on a farm. The harvest of this farm is you and your children in multiple different ways. It's been a war concerning that for a long time. That's what destroyed Lemuria. That's what destroyed Atlantis or Aslan. Okay? So one thing I'm learning, it takes time, all right, for people to catch up. It takes time for people to realize and see what's happening right in front of them. But all you have to do is read the realm. Read the world that's operating around you. Why are you in here right now? Or if you're hearing this replay, what led you here? There's thousands of rooms going on. It's thousands of people just yep, talking and saying shit. All right? What led you to me? What led me to you? There are algorithms moving beyond us divinely on a quantum level that's saying the same thing they said before. Hear him. Because if no one else is going to say what I'm saying or show you what I'm showing you or pull you in that direction and say, look, family, we are running out of time. All right? They will win if we don't do what we're supposed to do. And their winning can be elongated if we don't do what we're supposed to do. But if and when we do what we're supposed to do, which we're beginning to do, watch how the world will change. You already seeing the world change with the music industry. I told you that was going to happen. You seeing it happen now. It's so quiet in the music industry, you can hear a pin drop, can't you? If you can't, you got your hands over your ears, because you can hear a pin drop in the industry right now. You understand? Something's changing, y'all. The biggest pillars is saying we got to stop this violence. We got to stop this murder music. When just earlier this year, people were saying it would never happen. Do you feel me? Don't ever underestimate your power. They done tried everything in their power in every room that I went to try to deter me, stop me from speaking, all this other stuff, and did not work. They're able to look and see the pillar rising, just how I told people after certain pillars would fall, there would be a pillar that would rise. And that pillar would be phase one's pillar, and I told people it will be coming and rising out of the east. Okay? Just for something, if you want to do something just for fun, all right, just for tickles and wiggles, you can go look up phase one, Don't Mind Me. All right? It's on SoundCloud. Phase one, Don't Mind Me. Okay? And you'll be able to find where I was making a song where I said, don't mind me. I'm just busy not being human. I'm free. This is my philosophy. None of you exist. That's no probably. I'm elite. You are little. Time is discreet. You blew the whistle. You just missed the bus. I'm sorry. You were not one of my listeners. All these days I had to fight. I finally got my patch of light. I am brighter. My point is this. You go listen to that song. I said a lot of things in that song. That back in 2015, I made that song. I was like 15, 16 years old. Okay? You hear it stop. And Ye comes in and speaks, right? And he says, he was speaking about how people were saying that he was crazy for saying that he was a god. He said, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A guy, right? Ye algorithm and walking with my algorithm since I was younger. And I was never a Ye fan. Now, I remember being back in high school and I was called Little Kanye. Back in high school, they would call me, some of my, like I remember my counselor specifically called me Little Kanye. And I made a song. You can also find this. It's on YouTube years ago. I think maybe 7 years ago, 6 years ago now. Called Desert Ego. D-S-U-T-E-G-O. Desert Ego. And in that song, you'll hear me say, niggas they like to call me Lil Kanye. I said, but that ain't no insult to me. Niggas better vacuum my runway, right? I was being compared to that algorithm when I was younger. Now, all I'm saying this for is because I think it's interesting that Ye has my name as his middle name. Or, you know what I'm saying, vice versa. I have his middle name as my name. Okay? The round is telling you what to pay attention to. We only have the time we have. That's why I'm saying 2023 is a new ball game. It has to be a new ball game, though, because you went on the world, not you personally, y'all in this room, saying the world went on autopilot for 2 years. We've been fighting the algorithm for 2 years. What Ye did, cracked it open. I told you, it cracked it open. And it dominated. And it gave enough time and energy to be able to make room for pillars like mine to rise. It's time for that, though. I said it. As soon as them other things go down, you're going to see other pillars rising up to allow room for the truth to shine through. Once the truth shines through, everybody gets to do their part. Whatever your role in this is, you get to do it. Don't think that I'm here to do everything. Don't think I want all the glory and all this other stuff that people just start feeling because I'm great, all this other stuff. I'm not here to debate on whether or not I'm great. I know I'm great. Whatever. That's fine. I'm not the only one that can do something, though. Don't get it misconstrued that because I'm shining, that I'm here to stop other lights from shining. No. If there are lights that are here to shine, they better make sure that they're of the true light. Because if I see that you are not of the true light, you become opposition. And I will handle it accordingly. That's all it is to it. Because at this point in time, I'm an event myself. If I'm an event, you're an event, Ye is an event, all these people are events is just going to be rising up. Okay, well then I need to see what's going on. I'm in here. I'm not somebody from the outside. I'm not somebody looking in and saying, hey, can I get in? No, I'm already in here. I have a say-so in how this goes, and so do my people. And the way that I say it goes is, no, before I die, I will have created some type of ripple, chain reaction, or whatever the fuck, change, alteration, whatever we got to call it, that will lead people out of the mental slavery, out of the bondage of Shaitan, out of this bondage of pleasure and desire that's leading to destruction, even if they don't do it for themselves. We'll be prepared enough to do it for the children. Because that's what it's going to be about. We'll be prepared enough. I'm telling you what the plan is. Whatever they do, I'm not worried about it. Whatever happens to me, I'm not worried about it. Because I know that as long as I'm here living and breathing, and we're here to do something about it, can't nobody tell me can't shit be done. Don't ever tell me. Don't ever fix your mouth to tell me this is how this shit is going to be. Tell me you bowed down. Tell me you rolled over and let these people do whatever they wanted to do to you. Don't tell me I'm supposed to do it because everybody else is scared. Don't tell me I'm supposed to bow out because these people are scared. No, I'm not afraid. I don't fear death and I don't fear life. Maybe one day people will understand what I mean by that. So all you have to do is read the realm. Like they said in the Quran, Ikra. All right? The first word they gave to Nabi Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ikra, read, Muhammad. From the moment that you have people like Ye starting that ripple through the realm on October 3rd, when he first popped out with that White Lives Matter shirt, everybody was acting like it was the end of the world. It was World War III. You know what I'm saying? All right, all these people making all these rooms, all these posts about him, okay? All them spoken word pieces, all them songs dissing them, you know what I'm saying? All kind of people coming out against Ye. Everybody was teaming up against that one person because of a shirt. And I said, pay attention. I said, Ye is exposing people, and he still is. The algorithm of Ye is exposing people. That means God is exposing. That means light is exposing people. The shit went down with the jewels. You know what I'm saying? All the business he was speaking on. All right. You had the Drink Champs interview. You had then they took that down. Everybody was jumping on the wave of whoever these chosen people were supposed to be. I told you, look at that. I said, how you got people who said that the Bible is like irrelevant? We shouldn't even speak on it. We supposed to be way beyond the Bible, even though they never read it. And it's clear they never read it because when we be in these rooms, they don't know what the fuck it's about. Can't tell you the first or the last thing about it, literally. You feel me? How all these people was joining in on the conversation of the chosen people. And how you got all these people who coming from all these communities that say that the Bible is irrelevant or these books is irrelevant, speaking about Baal as king. Do they not know that that's a biblical character? If they don't know that, somebody go tell them. Somebody tell them, Faye said, hey, yo, that's a biblical character that you talking about. You can't get away from this book, can you? No matter where you turn and try to teach something from, you can't get away from the books that our ancestors left. You can't get away from the teachings that our ancestors taught. All right? And still try to call yourself relevant because you're speaking on things that I was able to break down for the people for real. But when I would break it down for people, you tried to shut me down like I was some Bible thumper because I knew what the fuck was going on with it. And now you got them same people. I'm telling you, I'm watching everything. It's funny. Everything is hilarious. Everything is hilarious. Them same people is them same ones coming out saying, y'all know Balenciaga means Baal is king. This is the worship of the devil. Yo, these are all characters out of the same book you telling people not to read because you was scared to read it. Or you was too lazy to pick it up and realize what it was talking about. You don't need the book to understand it. I'm just saying, though, if you think you could throw away that book, you've been misled. You can't not and figure out what's going on for real, how the world is presenting it, because that world is going based off of the book and it's ran off of the book. You got to know it. Even if you call it predictive programming, you don't want to know what the program is reading. You don't want to know what the algorithm is reading. Now, if you file like that, because you might be filed like that, okay? Well, then it helps to be able to know where people are coming from if you feel that they indoctrinated at all. It helps to understand where they're coming from for real, because guess what? That's how you really can break the spell I'm putting you on. That's how you really break the spell. Because if you can speak to wherever you at, whoever you speaking to, and everybody can understand, then you've done something right. However, if you speaking and people can't get it, they can't grasp it because you done said something that offended somebody over here, they can't get it over here, they can't walk with you over here. They ask questions and you get upset with them because they ask the questions. You don't want nobody to ask you no questions. You try to tell them that their question is dumb or stupid because they ask you something that you can't answer. You're not a teacher. You're not a teacher. All right? And if you're not a teacher, you're not a leader, you're not somebody that's standing up that's going to actually change what's going on, you got to go. You got to go. You understand? You have people like Kyrie, who's coming out with the documentary, The Hebrews to Negroes, and people are finding out, wait a minute, a lot of this shit in that shit was true. But remember, they didn't even want you to watch it. They were trying to act like they would put out disclaimers and say, oh, there's some lies in here. But now they got to admit that because people went and researched it. They didn't expect that. They didn't expect that when they tried to make it a big deal about what he was doing, people actually went and watched the documentary. And that is a problem now because when they went and watched it, they went and researched what was being spoken of in it. You understand? So you had celebrities that came out and attacked both of them. Signed petitions to get them, they books taken off the book taken out to the Barnes and Noble store, all that shit. All right, and everything. So it's been loud ever since October 3rd. And that led up to the takeoff algorithm, where people took their focus off of Ye for just a second. You feel me? And then they started to admit to themselves. They say, yo, something is wrong with this music. This shit is destructive. This shit is demonic. The music is promoting the violent atmosphere. You know, we got our people falling victim to it. We got to stop this drill culture shit. We got to stop this murder culture shit. We got to stop all, I'm not saying that to support my narrative. I'm telling you that was literally the response of the masses because of Takeoff's death. When Takeoff algorithm occurred, and I told you it ain't gonna last for like a week. However, it did last for a week, but they were talking about it for a week, and they were talking about the drill culture, the murder culture, and all of the shit that was creating the atmosphere for it. And I said, pay attention to when people respond that way. And they did. Finally, they did. So then you had Ye, who was bringing that attention back to the beast himself, Halal themselves, Baal himself, Baphomet themselves, okay? And he was telling people his mom was sacrificed, which I heard Ayan ask him about that in the interview. Now, I remember where the rooms where they were saying that Ye sacrificed his own mother. And when Ye mother was brought up, it was brought up disrespectfully by people like Ayan. And it was just interesting to hear him ask it like there was some type of sincerity behind it. And I heard people like Ayan speak like he's supposed to just get over his mom being gone. It's over with. Stop using your mom to do this. Stop using your mom to start business. I was there. Y'all tell y'all, I don't just be sitting, I be listening. And I be writing things down, sometimes literally. I'll pinpoint a conversation and say, that's interesting. I'm gonna make sure we can come back around to this when it comes time for it. And this time is now. You sat there and asked his man about his mom, and if he would have heard how you was speaking on him and his mama, he would have been sitting there having that conversation with you. You feel what I'm saying? The deception is all around the board. You gonna stand on what you stand on, you ain't gonna stand on it at all. So if you ain't gonna stand on it at all, fuck it, get down. Get down. You understand? So Ye was bringing them conversations back around. Yo, these people are sacrificing people in the end. Bill Cosby's son. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of people were sacrificed. And he was saying that. So that was coming from somebody who's in the industry, who done been in the devil's den. People still mocked him. Right? People like Ayan, all these other people, they mocked him. People accuse Ye of sacrificing his own mom, and he's trying to bring their attention to showing you what these motherfuckers is doing. Key words is sacrifice. And they tried to shut him down. They tried to silence him. You understand? They already took him off the social media platforms. He couldn't hold up the algorithm how he was holding it up. You feel what I'm saying? Every time he posted some shit, niggas knew, oh, this shit finna go up. It don't matter if this nigga would have took a picture of a leaf and posted the leaf. You would have had 1,000 theories of what that leaf meant. You would have had 1,000 people that hated him for the leaf. You feel what I'm saying? They would have came up with some kind of crazy reason to be upset with him about that leaf. Money don't grow on trees, Ye. You turning your back on your people, they would have found a way. You know what I'm saying? You know? So people literally was protesting him. Even being, you know what I'm saying, that he was still their people. He's still one of yours. Whether you like him or not, you threw him out with the sharks and the wolves. And all he was doing was bringing your attention to what's going on. So the world was locked in on one person. You feel what I'm saying? They didn't want him to have no more platforms. They didn't want him to have no more money. They did exactly what the Matrix told them to do. Most of the world was attacking them. They used celebrities, people like Boosie, Shaq, the Michael Rappabat nigga, Rappaport, that man. You feel me? And I look at it now and I say, okay, cool. All of that needed to happen. They threw the whole bucket at Ye, but all of that needed to happen. And he understand that too. Because the revelation ain't through. People watch them. And y'all want to know what else is interesting? I be looking at how people be, you know what I'm saying? I saw somebody post, you know, this is the year of revelation. All these people are getting revealed. And some of y'all probably saw that post. I'm like, I wonder where the fuck he got that from. Because niggas be acting like they don't know I exist. But then if I don't speak on Ye's situation, don't nobody know shit about Ye's situation unless they quoting some shit that the masses is talking about, which ain't never talking about shit. But they'll watch and they'll wait for me to speak on Ye's situation and speak on the algorithm and read it to them, and then they'll go run off and just say it like they the ones who came up with the shit. Or that they the ones that'll figure some shit out. You feel me? And I be paying attention to that too. And that's why I stopped speaking on Ye shit. I stopped speaking on it. I pulled back from it. So every time something happened, I let people do what they was doing. You feel what I'm saying? To reserve that energy and put it back around to other things, like the behind the scenes, and respond from different angles, like what I did with the Balenciaga. Now, if you go to my page, you'll see that Balenciaga video, that one video itself, y'all, is pulling in a lot of people to show them who I am and what I'm speaking on and from what angle I come from. And a lot of people agree. Go look at the video. I think it got like 14,000 likes. It got like 300 something thousand views. All right. 1,000 followers done came damn near from that one video or more. So I'm saying to y'all, there's algorithm at play. This is a war for real. We ain't stopping and we ain't slowing down, and we not going for people trying to play. Like, don't try to play. Taking what I'm saying and running off with it like you the one saying it without letting people know who the fuck I am I take that as you playing with me. Because you don't have the intentions that I have. You don't have the purpose that I have. You don't have the heart that I have. You don't have the drive that I have. You're not going to sacrifice how I'm going to sacrifice. So don't play like you're me. Because if it was you that was doing what I was doing, I wouldn't need to be doing what I was doing. I would have never needed to start if it was you. So tell these people to stop playing. They know who I am, but they don't want nobody. I'm telling y'all, 2023 coming around, you're going to see that a lot of people that y'all thought I was associated with, I'm not associated with them. And it's already in the works. They already feel it, by the way. A lot of them don't even like, they don't comment because they see it happen. Exactly what I told them was going to happen. And don't try to act like you were standing with me. Don't try to act like you were standing with me. Your brain was set on helping and working with everybody else, and I watched you do it. I watched you do it. Don't try to act like you standing with me. It's going to be much love, but much respect, but don't ever try to act like you was aligning with the one. You never aligned with me. Your thing was keep me quiet, keep me off into the cut, don't ever let nobody know I'm out here, and you keep big up in all these devils in the community. And I watch people do it, and they all devils. You understand? They don't care anything about what's going on for real. If it was up to them, we'd be all out here worshiping these celebrities just like everybody else. We'd be all out here chasing a dollar like everybody else. And these changes would not have been made. But then it's funny that after the changes start being made, everybody want to jump on the bandwagon and jump on the boat and say they had something to do with the changes being made. And they did not. Because you didn't even want to help the one bringing the changes. It's a lot of things I can change. Because I have a different type of thought process. And that means that my mind will produce currents that move in the opposite direction. If you go watch the movie Dark City, The Dark City, you had somebody who was called Murdoch, okay? And they were watching him because he had the ability to tune. And a tuner can change the world. If you are tuned or in tune, you can change the world. Go watch it, Dark City. Okay, they use some of the same set from the movie Matrix to make the movie Dark City. If you ever read my book, Who Knows the Secrets, I think I spoke about it in there. Okay, so I'm one of the tuners, and everybody watching, they know, okay, this nigga's different. He's unpredictable. We don't know which way he's gonna lean next. Okay, that's a sign, but I won't be here forever. That's the biggest message. I won't be here forever. It might be shorter than what we think, but the sign is just that. Boom, in and out. The time is now. What you gonna do? You have an opportunity as a people right now. You can do something. Right now, you can do something about it. We don't have to raise ourselves or our children in hell. We can change this shit right now if we want to. And how are we gonna change it if we keep taking on these ideologies of we suffering, or ideologies of we oppressed, or ideologies of we're victims, or ideologies? No, it's time right now. Switch it. Offense time. We ain't taking no more shit, literally. No more taking anything. We're on offense. You feel me? So the time is now. Go watch the movie Dark City, though, and you'll see what I'm saying. Murdoch was one of the tuners. He could change everything. All right? And stop looking at all these people and what they're doing and just jumping on the bandwagon. They threw stones at Ye. They put him up on the cross. Okay? They crucified him. They screamed it. Crucify him. Crucify him. They clawed at him. They plucked his beard off his face. Okay? When them folks took their money from him, the people in Ion room, they celebrated. People on Clubhouse, these different rooms on Clubhouse, they were laughing at him. Okay? Even though Ye said, what? Man, them folks couldn't, they only could, quote unquote, take away what they gave me, but I'm still whole. Because God made me me. He gave me me, is what Ye said. God gave me me. You feel me? But I remember all them people saying, I said, damn, are y'all happy that he's like, you think he's failing, so you're happy? You're celebrating? And of course, when you're in rooms full of devils, you ain't gonna be able to get no words off. Even if you are, you got to use them wisely enough to be able to speak in the council of devils. Man, all them people was attacking them. And I remember, and I heard it all, and I said, okay, these people will do the same thing to me. I got it. I took note on the type of people who would do it. You feel what I'm saying? You had the George Floyd family, whoever the dude is, I don't remember who the fuck the nigga is. George Floyd brother, he came out and attacked him. People celebrated. When they called him anti-black, all right, you had people calling him a black Nazi by these Caucasian people in a derogatory sense of trying to tear him down, even though, you know, he put on the t-shirt, and I think he still trolled the motherfuckers. But hey, that's me. If you ask me, he trolling the fuck out of them. But hey, that's what it is for what it is. And if it ain't that, it ain't that. It's what it is, though, because it is that. If it's that. But if it ain't that, that's what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? You know, and people allowed them to say that, though. He's anti-black. What the fuck you, excuse me, you're not black. Fuck you mean he's anti-black? You don't know what it means to be black. You know what I'm saying? But nobody would stand up and say any of it. Ye spoke on his own children. He was saying how he didn't want them to be sexualized. He didn't want them to be pulled into this Hollywood circle that they got going on. He didn't want them around these demons like Pete, okay, who would dress around his children inappropriately. And if you can't look at Pete and tell us something fucked up about that boy, I don't know what to tell you, because I can look at this nigga and tell something is wrong with Pete, man. You wouldn't let Pete near your children. You don't even know Pete. Go Google Pete. Go Google Kim Kardashian's Pete. I don't even know what the nigga last name is. Pete, man, whoever the fuck. You wouldn't let him near your children. Something was off with that boy. They used his children to taunt him. Nobody said anything. Nobody came out. They threatened to take his children away. Them celebrities was ghosts. Why, though? All for the sake of he said something about slavery. You feel what I'm saying? So over and over again, when he spoke about how he was concerned about his children, nobody stepped up to help him. But people stepped out to dudes because their feelings were supposed to be hurt about some shit that was said. You know what I'm saying? With the DEFCON thing, taken way out of fucking context. On purpose, though. They knew that shit was way out of context. That's why when I went into the room, I said, what the fuck is a DEFCON? That don't make sense. They said, you know what it is. We know what it is. It's 5 levels. And I said, no, that's DEFCON. Shit got quiet. No, that's DEFCON. That's military. I know what that is. What is DEFCON 3? Because y'all are focusing in on this death word like he was intentionally using death. And when he did the Drink Champs interview, he said, I misspelled it. I have a tendency to do that. And when I did the breakdown video, I said either this nigga, he either misspelled it, you feel what I'm saying, or he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And he said, I misspelled it. But these people focus on the word death like that meant that he was about to carry out a defense mechanism that killed people. Like, what the fuck? Something wrong with us. Something is wrong with people. I feel like we off. And now they comparing them to Hitler for speaking out about what everybody knows is going on. But they're trying to act like it's not happening. And I think that's why he's trolling them. After all of this played out, though, within the last 2 months, the Baal ad drops with the children, BDSM, objects, the wine glasses, you understand? The stuffed animals with the panda eyes. All of this drops out in the photos that they showed the people. All right? And you have some of them photos where they had the little girl on her stomach, not just what they were showing you with them simplified photos. One of the little girls was on their stomach laying out. Compromised positions of a child. Some shit you'll see from an adult photo shoot. Not for children at all. That shit blew up. And you look out and you don't see no outrage right now. You got motherfuckers who have not forgave Ye for the slavery comment. They still want his head for that. But Balenciaga and the people that surrounding him, the directors and all that, slap on the wrist. Don't do that again. That was bad. We got to study and research like T.I. dumbass said. T.I. said he had to go and research it. As if he had some type of educated decision to make on how to feel about children being sexually exploited, which is bullshit. He know that that's going on. He know what's happening. Kim Kardashian basically was like, you know, she wanted to hear both sides of the stories. She don't know how this could have happened, so she want to hear them out. Y'all some fucking, I'm telling y'all, these people are devils. All right? They know what's going on. They'll never say anything about it. They playing games. They know what's moving behind that curtain. They won't speak on it because they know if they speak out against what's happening with this human trafficking shit, what is going on with this child trafficking shit, they'll be speaking about their own actions, or they'll be speaking about their friends, or they'll be speaking about their family members, their managers, their CEO. They'll have to call all them out, or they'll have to call themselves out. And ain't no way in the hell they finna do that. The people ain't finna do it. They ain't finna do it, so who finna fucking do it? You feel me? So when Ye said, yo, people checks is being cut, y'all better look deeper into what that means. It means you look at how these people so quiet right now. It's because how you gonna speak out against your boss? How you gonna say something about what your boss got something to do with, or what you got something to do with? They pay you. How? You can't. They'll take all the kingdoms back from you. They'll do all the shit the motherfuckers is doing to Ye. You feel what I'm saying? At least you can't do it and still think you finna keep the position that they gave you. When celebrities know that. So they quiet. Instead of asking, though, where are the parents of those children? Who signed off for them to take those photographs? All right? Are they safe? That's the biggest question in the world right now. Are them children safe? Don't tell me I'm dumb for asking that. Don't tell me I'm overthinking it. Do we know if those children are safe? Right now, we don't. It's not just some fucking photo shoot. Stop letting these people play you. It's this world has been desensitized. Okay? The world has been caused over time to not care about what's going on with these children. They chose not to care. All right? So as we bring it to the close, at this point, nobody is clueless. Okay? Nobody's clueless about what's going on. They're just quiet. All right? So my thing for people is to remember that as this Ye algorithm, Ye West goes east, as the darkness comes into the light, don't be fooled. All right? Most of these people just looking for an opportunity or a come up. They don't care nothing about what Ye got going on. They don't care nothing about what's happening with our children. They don't care nothing about what's going on with our people in our communities that are still in hell right now. Somebody's going under a drive-by. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, has some shit happening to them now. Traumatic experiences happening left and right. Yes, it happens in every community. And every community has ways that they dealing with it, except that the only thing is we don't have a way to deal with this shit yet. We keep being told that our destruction is art and it's supposed to be celebrated. We keep being told that ain't nothing gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? White supremacy has to be destroyed first. We keep being told everything except stand up. Even if it means standing up against your own. Stand up to get this shit right. So the offense is gonna be different. I'm telling you, I ain't laid out no plan. All I'm saying is the offense finna be different. When we wrap around that conscious corner, where everybody's consciousness is going to reset. January 1st, 12 a.m. It's going to happen. And I tell people it's going to ripple out into different time zones. It's going to happen. When we round about that conscious corner, okay, and we get ready to bring in what is being called the new year, just know that by that time, things are about to be different. There's a shift coming. They need chaos out here. They trying to interrupt the flow of even how 911 interacts with the communities. They need chaos. We finna offset all of that. They need confusion. Too bad what they need. We finna bring more clarity. They need people to be moving slow. We don't give a damn what they need. We about to speed our people up. They need people focused on the elections. Fuck the elections. We about to electrify our people and unify them. You understand? It's beyond time. So, before we get up out of here, if you want the How to Love Again book, all right, I'm dropping it, what's today? Sunday now. Monday, tomorrow. If you want that book, if you already sent the donation earlier on, about a week ago, I already got you on the list. So don't worry about it. But if you want the book, send a donation, send your email with the donation. It's going to have a place where you can put what it's for, put your email, all right? And I'll put you down for the How to Love Again book. What I speak about in the book different interactions that I've had, you know what I'm saying, with love and my personal encounters with that feeling and that emotion and what I learned from it, the science of love, certain aspects of what the science is that we can apply to this day. It's a lot. I think this book is going to be, you know what I'm saying, one of my favorites after How to Speak Elite. Right now, How to Speak Elite is my favorite book of mine. I think How to Love Again, it might beat it out. It might beat How to Speak Elite out. It's definitely going to be bigger than How to Speak Elite. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot more science in it. A lot more things I'm speaking about. I even go into quantum mechanics, all kind of shit. Y'all, this shit, I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this book. Okay? Just let it be known. So if you want that book, How to Love It. Oh, one more thing. It comes with album or a LP. I think I'll call it an LP because it's not that many songs. I think it's about 7 songs, 8 songs on it. So it's an LP. It comes with an LP. So when you get the book from me, you'll also get the link to, it'll be an unlisted. You'll be able to listen to it or hear from YouTube. It'll be a link to one of the albums. And that album, I think it's called How to Love Again also. I think I stuck with that. Yeah, How to Love Again album. So it's a How to Love Again book, and it comes with an album. You know what I'm saying? So either during your reading or after you read it or before you read it, or if you just want to listen to it, whatever, you'll be able to hear the album, you know what I'm saying, end of the lines with what's being spoken of. I think the shit is fire. I think it's fire how we got it set up. I think it's fire what we doing. We started a whole new movement. Everybody who's been walking with me, supporting me, is y'all seeing it change. You feel me? I'm excited because change is already here. I would say it's coming, but it's already here. We're going on offense. All right? You're going to be electing yourself president 2023. So get ready. You're going to need your own campaign. I'm going to be pushing y'all. All right? You're going to need your own campaign. You're going to be getting up. You're going to make sure you push that campaign. You're going to keep your word. You're going to keep your promises. And you're going to elect yourself. All right? You're going to be running all year for 2023. You're going to be running all year for 2024. You're the president. And it's going to come fast. So just remember that I'm telling you that the same way 2022 went fast, this shit finna be faster. Just know it. So we already moving in position. Everybody should be getting ready because you're about to launch your own campaign to be president. Can you imagine what that's going to look like for you? What it's going to feel like for you? You president. How can it be so many presidents? Well, it's time for it to be a lot of presidents because we need people to understand the presidents. We need people to know what's going on for real. The president is able to access high level intel, classified documents, top secret. You feel me? The president has the ability, you know what I'm saying, to say so. He has say so. He can say something and it changes the whole, you know what I'm saying, current of what's moving in the realm. Well, you need that same type of authority over your life and over what happens in your communities. You're not waiting for reparations. You are going to repair your communities. You're not waiting for somebody to raise your children. You're going to raise them. You're going to teach them. And you're going to love them as hard and as fast as you possibly can manage to love your children. You're going to do that. You're going to give them the things that they need to be able to be successful. And they're going to grow up and they're going to appreciate you for it. And they're going to show you that they appreciate you for it. And we're going to change this world. Don't tell me utopia can't happen. We're going to build it. Don't tell me that we got to wait for me to be some elder, you know what I'm saying, to look back and say, what did we do? No, we're going to do it now. All right? It's happening. I tell people before the end of 2023 over, you're going to see phase 1 higher than the same type of platforms you're seeing right now, like the what you call, like the Reza Islam platforms. You're going to see the Umar Johnson. We're going beyond all of that. Not to disrespect Reza Islam or Umar Johnson. They doing whatever they doing. We're going beyond all of that. We're going to reach into realms they don't want us to reach in. They don't want people like Reza to have the same type of impact that NBA Youngboy has. Now, if you ask me who has more of an impact in what's going on in our communities, the one who ain't even trying to lead or wasn't trying to lead nobody, at least in any type of positive direction, got more impact. So don't ever misconstrue what it means to be a leader, because you can lead somebody in the right or the wrong direction. You can lead somebody off a cliff or you can lead somebody up onto a summit. Okay? So the way that we're moving is we're going to be more powerful than Youngboy. We're going to be more powerful than anybody you can think of. And it's going to be interesting because the bar is being raised way above the heads of the people in the industry now because they're not as powerful as they was last year. You with me? So even to say, oh, we're going to be as powerful or more powerful than Drake, eventually that ain't going to be nothing because he ain't going to have no type of power. These people won't have power. You feel me? Power, it relies on energy. It relies on motion. It relies on acceleration. It relies on, you feel me? All of these things is going to be necessary. You're not going to, no, we're going to have more power than these people. You feel me? And then guess what? We get to say what's going to happen. And then we'll come back to the drawing board. Even when we're doing things like the movie. When we do this movie, we're going to be changing things because that movie will be done. Y'all stay with me. We're going to get there. All right? And then every step of the way, things will get better for us. Don't ever think that you're here to just support me and make my life better. No, no, no. We're here doing something about the condition of the world. All you have to do is look out and see, yes, something's changing. Something happening. Who can feel it? Something is shifting. And every day that we get up and we say we don't care what they got going on, we can do something. Every day we get up and do that, something else changes. Another thing changes. Another thing. Ye just walked through Clubhouse. You feel me? Now, ironically so, I wasn't on Clubhouse for the time period I wasn't on it. But he walked through here. You feel me? And nobody didn't send it to me and let me know, hey, yo, we about to be interviewing Ye. Well, because they don't need Phase on that stage too. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But they don't understand. I'm already on that stage. Not on Clubhouse, silly goose. I'm already on that stage. You feel me? Even when they were bringing Ye to Atlanta, and they still didn't get my damn $22 bet. But I went in, as soon as they were saying he was going to Morehouse, I booked the booked the ticket. Boom, I'm in there. Shut him down. He will not be allowed to. What the fuck is my $22? You know what I'm saying? But they don't get. No matter what you do, we're still on the stage. Ye and I are still on the same stage. I don't have to agree with what he's talking about. I agree with what he is. I don't have to agree with everything he say. I agree with who he is. I know that him being who he is, the work gonna be done. You feel me? I know that the event operating as Ye means that this shit happening. That's all I need to see. If I can look out and have a window seat like that, you feel me? That's all I needed. That's all I need. Oh yeah, okay, new day and time. Boom, the end. It's time for something new. All right? So if you are a teacher, a leader, a conscious person, a lover, a giver, a prayer warrior, whatever, a healer, whoever you are right now, this is your time to shine. And what I mean by shine, you have to speed up in order to shine. Your molecules have to speed up in order to shine. You feel me? And I speak about all that in the book. So y'all hearing it first. Monday will be the release of the book. Send a donation, send your email, you get the book. I'll be announcing it. I'll try to, I'll be putting together some type of creative announcement. You know what I mean? I'll figure it out. I need to do some type of creative announcement just to, you put that energy out there on that love frequency. So don't be surprised you see a nigga pop out with it. You know what I'm saying? What you call it? A little whoop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? To illustrate and demonstrate, and put these demons straight in their place what love is. So I'm grateful. I love y'all. Ye West is going east. Turn that light on. Okay? It's time to speed up. Get your water. All right? You done had all the breaks you can have. Okay? Go ahead. Eat whatever you need to eat. Relax a little. It's time. When that clock hit that 12 a.m., it's on and popping, and there's no going back. There's no turning around. Because the masses will be moving. They going to already decide, like I said in my caption, there's going to be a fantastical reset. Why I say fantastical? Not just to say fantastic like it's going to be amazing, but fantastical like a fantasy. Doesn't mean it is real, but it can still have as much of a magical impact as anything that would be considered real. Okay? And when the masses decide that 12 a.m. is a reset, you need to be already in motion by that time. And you're going to catch that current. And that current is going to fuel the reality that you see we need to have here. I'll show you though. Don't worry about it. I ain't going to leave nobody out there in the open. I'll show you how we're going to do it. So I love y'all. Send a donation. Send your email. You get access to the book. Or I put your name on the list. We drop it in Monday. You'll be the ones to receive it. And everybody else who, donates from then on, they'll receive it also. It comes with the album. I'm grateful for y'all. I love y'all. Yay West is going east. The light is on. Peace and love.